Loading up.
We
were able to get Danny's.
I got Danny. Oh shit! No.
Yeah. Go to 4.
Okay.
Go to 4.
Go to 4.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. Let me see. So I'm
Is he?
Hey, so I don't know if you guys seen him. I'm seeing all like the latest breaking news right now.
What's that?
What?
Fucking Elon just went after Trump again.
No, it didn't.
They're going
about the BBB.
They got together again, but
the big beautiful
like,
bill.
You know,
Oh, again, he's doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, did you hear about that kid from Brownsville, the daycare?
Yeah, he's like 4 years old.
The kid died, right?
In the daycare van.
They're definitely trying to daycare. They just left it. They like forgot about it in the daycare van.
Holy shit!
Like, they just forgot about it. That's messed up.
And we are live.
Starting off well.
Yeah, I'm
with,
seeing it.
That children. That's awesome.
Okay, what time?
That's the best way to start.
Starting exactly 9 o'clock.
Well, we need sacrifice for the Brazilian jungle magic we need for tonight for Chucky Olives.
Should I fetch the chicken?
We got chickens back here, then. You got your own place. You can get chickens, man.
Yeah, they're tax deductible, bro. You should get some.
I'm gonna sleep on that one tonight.
We started a movement, man.
I'm just saying. You can also get cows. They're ultra tax deductible.
Yes, but actually fucking take care of yours, man. My sister-in-law has a neighbor got a cow, barely feeds it, man.
That's what he said.
No, my sister-in-law buys big bags of like veggies and stuff, feeds it on the side, you know. Yeah, you gotta be nice to fucking cows, man. Dude, we got some viewers already, man.
So far, so good. All right, guys, we're going live in 1 minute.
All right.
So the what's shooting live right now, that's it? If I share it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just share it. Cool.
I'm adequately lubricated up right here.
Interesting way to open up the show. All right, man, you ready?
Just good luck having me shut the fuck up.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, let's rock and roll. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Chingasos. I'm your host, Raleigh Castillo. As always, with me, my co-host, Mr. Michael Guerra. Say what's up, Michael.
How we doing? Alistair Sharkwater for tonight's purposes.
All right,
because we're going real deep into politics, man. I don't need my job catching me here.
All right, so before I introduce the guests, I feel like I should say some stuff about the guests that we were supposed to have here today. So we originally had scheduled a couple of MAGA bros to come on, right? And they were all about it until the last minute. But they gave me some, excuses, so we forgive them, and they said they're going to come on next week. So we're going to hold them to that. Now, we put out the challenge, and I even had my friend over at RGV Truth and Justice share the challenge, and there was a lot of MAGA bros that they sounded like they wanted to come on, but at the end of the day, nobody bid. Now, I'm a little disappointed, as well as everybody here. We're disappointed. We were hoping to have an awesome show with some debates and with some lively conversation. And of course, UFC. Now, we will not be streaming the UFC 317 tonight because we're going to get fucking canceled. And we'll get canceled pretty quick. So, with that being said, I want to introduce our guests here. The legendary Danny Diaz and Abel Prado. Danny Diaz, you wanna introduce yourself?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on, brother. Haven't done a lot of podcasting. Been out and about doing a lot of community stuff, but appreciate you having me out here. I haven't been in the Mid-Valley a lot, but yeah, my name's Danny Diaz. I'm from the west side of the valley, Palmview, Texas, specifically, La Jolla, Coyote. Been in organizing, activism, done some politics. Currently working philanthropy, but sort of ran for office. I've worked at Lupe, did some organizing work out there, been involved with union, so sort of a jack of all trades. I think he was kind of a jack of all trades too, by the way.
Would you consider yourself woke?
I don't use that word, but I like to think that being awake and paying attention to things is a good thing.
Good way to go. Yeah.
Is a good thing, but I don't like the connotation that it has right now in popular culture.
Right.
So I don't want to be attached to that. But when was it a bad thing to know things?
Right.
And to, you don't want to be asleep. What's the opposite of being woke? It's being asleep. So,
All right.
so yeah, bro.
All right, Mr. Abel.
How's it going? Abel Prado. Let's see, grew up in Donna, Texas. Once a Redskin, always a Redskin.
Strike number one.
They should never change the name. Keep it the way it is, because tradition. That's how we do things.
Right.
And so I work down here as a political consultant on campaigns. Ya tengo tiempo que le meto. Been doing it for about close to 10 years now, at every level, from federal all the way down to water district, agua site elections. So yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Of course.
Love your setup here, man.
Hey, thanks, man.
It's really fancy.
I appreciate it. Did a lot of work on this, and as I was telling Danny, the very first time I met you, Danny. I don't know if you remember.
Was that Cine Rey?
Yeah,
I do remember.
Oh,
yeah.
I gotta remember.
So I had just started with the whole podcasting thing. And this is, you're talking around like 2018, 2019. Now, I was a huge Trump supporter at the time.
I remember.
Right? So I was out on the beat trolling, you know what I mean? Like the original fucking MAGA troll in the valley when there was none. And so yeah, we you spoke that night at Cine del Rey, right?
Yeah.
And then I thought, afterwards it'd be cool to get a couple of words with you, and I didn't even remember what we talked about. We might have talked about like campaign finance or whatever.
Some
Some
nerdy, really
boring bullshit,
rabbit
right?
hole shit.
But who would have thought, bro? Like 7 years later, we'd be here, looking, chopping it up, and
Yeah, but I started like following you. Like I knew about you being a Trump supporter at first, and maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, I saw the turn. I was like, what's up with this guy? What happened here? But it's cool.
Yeah,
it is what it is, bro. Like,
and maybe we'll get into. I actually, when I had Abel on, was it maybe like 2 years ago, about a year ago,
Something like that, yeah.
we got into all the I guess the transformation and the evolution.
Yeah.
It's a long story, man, and we got time. We'll eventually get into it.
For sure, man.
I suppose. But we had UFC 317 tonight, gentlemen, and like I had said before, if you notice me start sweating before the main event, it's because I'm getting really fucking nervous, man.
Did you bet on this or what?
I did bet, but I'm on Team Olivera here. What about you, Michael?
Yo, man, I will say I have looked up Brazilian jungle rituals, man. We're going for our buddy Chucky Olives, Charles Oliveira, man.
So we got Charles. What about you,
I
boys?
guess I'll go with Oliveira.
Olivera.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, it's unanimous, dude.
You don't know?
No, I'm saying, like, yeah,
let's see.
Oliveira's probably going to win.
Okay.
Well, listen, man.
So where's the other guy from?
Spain.
Oh, Spain?
Yeah.
Topuria.
Yeah. And, here's the thing about this fight, man, is that Ilia Topuria, man, he's one of these young up and comers. He's hungry.
I see he's undefeated.
And he's just been beating bitches. He I hate to say it, but he recently beat Max Holloway.
And
that
Alex
was
Volkanovski, man.
and Volkanovski.
Both detrimental to my fucking heart. Both those wins.
And so what they're calling this guy is like the legend killer. You know what I mean? Because Volk is, and then Charles Oliveira, you got a legend, bro. You got somebody who's been on the beat, and he's a fighter. He's a dog. So I'm nervous, man. It's, the one thing about being a fan of a fighter, be like emotionally invested in a fighter, is that you're not. But you want them to win.
Right.
But you don't want them to get fucking fucked up.
Right.
I was a huge fan of Fedor, and watching Fedor toward the end of his career get knocked out by fucking jabs and shit. It was hard, bro. You know what I mean? You
they're hanging on late in their career just for that extra check.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And they were throwing him in there for the bell just to try to recapture that that last glory, you know. Man, he was just getting his ass kicked. You know,
Yeah.
that wasn't fun to watch, you know. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a hell of
So
a
we
card
go.
tonight.
There's a Brazilian guy, Oliveira. He's a lot more seasoned, I imagine. 35-10 record.
Yeah.
He's got some losses, but he's
A
fought
lot
the
more-
best of the best.
I mean, a lot more experience, but yeah, he's fought the best of the best. And
Dude, look at
this
those
fight,
odds,
this fight
bro.
is for the belt.
I will say, he has the record for most submissions in the UFC, and he's got the record for the most bonuses as well, man. So this is a bad motherfucker. But he's coming up against this young fucking bombs in his hand, in each hand, in Topuria.
Yeah,
man. It's scary.
here.
Yeah, so we have our in-studio MMA expert over here, Michael.
Michael, yeah.
You want to give a rundown of the card, man?
Okay, we are starting off with. Well, I gotta look up the exact names, man. But my most anticipated fight, man, it's gonna be Renato Mercado versus Beneil Dariush. Both of these guys, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts, legitimate. Not like these fucks, okay? And they both like to come forward and throw. This is gonna be fun. I think that's gonna be fight of the night, honestly, in my opinion. We also got Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. We're talking Kai France, man, his wins are by knockout, but Pantoja, man, is a fucking beast. We're talking about a guy who's in the UFC and still working Uber 40 hours into like a week until he became the champion. And he was supporting his family because dad, when he was a kid, dad took off. He was the one supporting his family. So the fact he got to the highest level and is able to continue to succeed at the highest level, it's fucking a lot, man. It's good stuff. And then what else we got?
That's a struggle. That's where the best ones come from the winner.
Exactly.
Struggling and hungry.
We got some bantamweights starting off tonight's event, man. Both of them young up and coming prospects. One dude's got a fro, other one's got a buzz cut. I can go into more detail later, man, but I've seen highlights of their fights. I think you can kind of guesstimate what might happen, but also there's always the caveat, but I feel like you can say that with most of these fights if you do the analysis, man. But back to you, buddy. What do you think?
Well, I mean, the card itself should be good, but before the actual fight start, I'm gonna throw some dynamite in the middle of the floor right now. So since, like I said earlier, since we were anticipating some MAGA bros to come in here and they're not gonna come, I feel like I gotta kind of play devil's advocate a little bit, coming from that space.
Got to revert to your factory settings.
I gotta revert to my default settings. But I want to ask you guys, man. I think, especially since elections are coming up, do you all think that the RGV has become MAGA country?
I've been to MAGA country. It's different, man. In MAGA country, people are married to the party, to the Republican Party. It's like a huge part of their identity.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of brothers down here, voted for Trump, maybe work in the oil fields, maybe are in law enforcement, but they're not married to it. I think they just thought it was a better choice, and it was just sort of what caught a lot of attention in this moment. Like Trump's a big icon, pop icon, sort of like the influencer, and the right wing fucking took over social media, the message, they control the narrative. They focus on trans issues and focus on a bunch of other social issues that control the narrative, and Democrats just couldn't catch up, man. And I think a lot of the young Latinos down here, even including the Gen Z, man, the 18 and 22 year olds, usually young Gen Zers are left wing or they vote left, but we didn't see that in this election, and it includes the young Mexican brothers from down the valley. But I just don't get a sense that they're married to the Republican Party. If Trump's in the ballot, I feel that they will vote for Trump. But if Trump's not on the ballot,
Bloodbath.
if Trump's not on the ballot, I think it's fair game. Down ballot at Abel knows this probably more than I do. The U.S. Senate, the congressional races, the state Senate races, Colin Alred, Vallejo, Vicente Gonzalez, all on the down ballot. in the same damn ballot. So that means we got people voting for Trump and then voting for Democrats down ballot.
Yeah.
And then we see it everywhere, bro. We see people. I know people in Arizona, in red states, where Trump won, but like the state voted 70% for abortion. So that means a lot ton of people. People that voted for Trump voted for abortion access, voted for marijuana legalization.
Correct. And we
So
saw
like,
those trends in Florida as well, man.
Yeah.
When they had voted for Trump, and over 50% voted to raise the minimum wage.
right.
Right. So it just
So I think there's like a line with like the economic populace.
Right.
I think the economic populism is what people respond to. So people are like, a lot of people are struggling down here. People are poor. What have the Democrats done for me lately? And then Trump's out there spouting out about like overtime, overtime pay, and like direct checks with his name signed on it during COVID and shit.
smart.
It's good politics, man. I wish Democrats were more bold and more aggressive. Me and you have talked about this a lot. Like just be more shameless about that because it's just that's what you're dealing with. We're showing up. Democrats showing up on a gunfight with a damn knife.
Would you support my political career?
Can we turn this down? The fight, like, is it coming out on the audio?
No.
Okay. Can we turn it down though?
The volume?
Yeah, the volume. Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah.
But yeah, man. We got that? Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I go right there.
Yeah, 'cause I was hearing it from both ends. Oh, really? Yeah, like
Yeah, when that light is green on your thing, that means everything around is canceled. So it's just centered right here. So it's not being cut on. But I have a follow-up question for you. But I want to ask Abel. What is this MAGA country?
I don't know about MAGA country. Maybe like MAGA province or like MAGA MAGA colony, maybe. It's not so much that people voted for Trump and then voted Democrat down ballot. You had a lot of people, like the down ballot races had a historically higher undervote than usual. So that means that people voted for Trump and then they left.
Right.
And so if you account for that, then the ballot doesn't look as red as it does, without, and there's other little things that come into play. Turnout is only so finite. That there were a lot of new people that voted for Trump. I think that's undeniable. That there is like a groundswell of support for voting Republican in the Valley, which coincides with like years of investment that Republicans have done down here, where Democrats just haven't they've been getting by on legacy votes and coasting on reputation. And I don't know that it's MAGA country, but to say that everything's hunky-dory and the Valley's still Democrat is a huge misunderstanding of the moment.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know what you guys' experience has been, especially when you're surfing the interwebs, when you're on when you're on like social media and stuff.
Interwebs.
But
The internet.
But like I feel like one thing that's changed a lot that I've noticed is what Trump was able to do was he was able to get like how can we call them, the normies, right? Like people who were never really into politics.
Persuaded them.
Right, especially dudes, right? Like the people that never gave two shits about politics. I went to high school with a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be lucky if they even showed up to social studies. They didn't care about this shit. But for some reason, Trump lit something under their ass, and now they're the biggest trolls on social media, right? And like, if you have a discussion with them, you can tell that they're just like took a course in like Charlie Kirk, like Intro to Politics for Dummies or some shit. You know what I mean? It's just like surface level bullshit, right? But like, they've become like empty vessels for like whatever the government propaganda is, right? And so when you go on there, like you're just battling with just like talking points, man. Like on the one hand, they'll say shit like, if you share an article with them, they'll be like, man, you can't believe everything you hear on CNN.
Right.
And then they respond with like a Trump tweet.
Or like Fox News or.
I will say we are watching what has become something of a political weapon now. Endeavor, the company that owns UFC, they brought out Trump for UFC events.
Yeah.
He's appeared. He's been on the Joe Rogan podcast and not Kamala Harris. I mean, what do you think about the fact that sport itself is being politicized.
Like a sport like the UFC has become like a safe space
Yeah.
for Trump. But again, like it's all perception, man. Vladimir Putin in Russia, every boxing fight, he's front row seat.
Yeah.
What he's trying to communicate to everybody is like these are my people. Like no, like it's kind of like the Roman times, right? Like like you're in charge of the animal circus. These are my people.
Right.
It's a signal of strength.
Right.
And this is a critique that I do have of Democrats, is that in the last election cycle, man, Kamala Harris would go on podcasts, and there'd be all these guidelines of things that she couldn't say, no. Could and couldn't say. It was scripted. It didn't come across as like, original. It didn't
Authentic.
come authentic. It was just scripted, and for some reason, man, Trump hits at people at a very primitive level, and it's effective.
I mean, we're talking about a lot of young Mexicanos down here that are still connected to like the macho culture, right? Mm-hmm. And machismo, and it's a feel. It's more of a feel. You got Kamala Harris showing up to podcasts talking about real specific policy, but not really like tapping into like what people feel or the emotion of things. And I thought that was a big mistake. Democrats, establishment Democrats, these like consultants that have been running the Democratic Party for years, have these like really specific talking points that they promise will solve and persuade any freaking voter because they put money into it. They make a lot of money in just charging up the fees to. Kamala spent $1 billion.
I know, man.
$1 billion. And people say she only ran for 3 months. You got to give her some slack, but it was $1 billion budget plus.
I will say this: when she started to run, the UFC, every other fight, they were having Trump come out. When she decided to run, he was decidedly not there. Right. Because there's also a lawsuit against the UFC for, monopolization.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to anger someone who could possibly be president. But when, I guess, the polls started to turn towards Trump, they started whipping him out again.
Yeah. Well, Dana White was very clearly with his boy Trump.
Yeah.
But but what was interesting is that when Kamala Harris first started her campaign, she hit the ground running. There was a lot of excitement around her. Then when she picked Tim Walz, they I think for at least a month they were on a winning trajectory.
Yeah.
Right. And then after, and I can't explain it. There was after about a month there was a shift in message. Right, like Tim Walz was coming out just talking shit.
It's the consultants.
It's the fucking
The
consultants,
fucking
man.
consultants.
Yeah, dude.
And not only that, like deeper, more systemic issues, and like her going on a podcast. What's up? Is like that Call Her Daddy thing that she did, where they spent I don't know how many thousands to like recreate a set instead of, and it didn't like it looked like a common ass. What you have here looks just as good as the setting that they had, but they spent I don't know how many thousands of dollars like on that. So that kind of like systemic, inefficiency is what really bothers me about politics, and how, there's a misunderstanding of what everyone's job is. Like even going on a podcast trying to figure out what to talk about and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't see why like Kamala couldn't go on Joe Rogan, man. Like Bernie Sanders was on there 3 years prior. He just went on there recently again.
Recently, dude. And
like fearless. Like you don't need to find a Joe Rogan to the left. You need to go on the Joe Rogan show and have an educational conversation with him and influence the way he's talking about these issues.
Right. Yeah.
Like you can't just force that. It's not something you can just pick out of the damn closet.
All right. With all that said, we're on the way with the first fight.
All right.
Let's go.
Who's Talbot and Lima? Who y'all got? Lima?
If Lima can pressure, he can take Talbot. Talbot, he's got long limbs. He likes to pressure forward, as you can see. But that pressure turns against him when it comes to takedowns. Now with his last fight, the pressure turned against him because the takedowns. But also Talbot has becoming a lot better with counter punches. A back step right, a counter left, intercepting knee. The question is, can Lima effectively pressure him back and feint out to counter the counter, feint out the counters, or is here we go. We got Talbot pressuring. This is not good. This is not good for Lima. Okay.
We're a minute in, guys. It's already.
Yeah, Talbot's pressure fighting, counter striking is becoming a lot better in the past couple of fights.
Which one has the better ground game?
Ground game, I gotta go with Lima. Talbot, his last few fights, he mainly goes towards the jiu-jitsu. He goes for guards, sweeps, but like I said, the big weakness was his last fight. The guy he fought pressured him consistently with wrestling. I was able to get better positioning.
Well, this I can tell you, man. If Lima decides to stay in the middle of the octagon trading with Talbot, he's gonna get knocked the fuck out.
You see, Talbot wants to pressure. If he can do that, if Lima keeps backstepping, this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is what I was talking about. Talbot likes to go forward. That leaves him open to takedowns. Here we go. Got the back. Got the body lock. Oh, beautiful.
That's what you're saying,
This
the ground game.
spider shit right here. Oh, 135, man. It is a beast.
But the defense, man, also is fucking incredible.
Oh, Granby roll. Oh, leg lock. Okay, he don't got it. He has guard. Oh, guard up against the fence. The problem with guard is that if you're against the fence, you cannot move back to get leverage or get space for a submission.
Out.
Okay, pop back up.
Yeah.
Okay, for what I've seen, this is going towards Talbot. He likes the pressure. He's getting more confident with his counter punching. And there's that little
Conor McGregor,
Conor McGregor shoulder bump. Oh! He tried for the butterfly, but he got pressured.
Wow.
Back like 9 years ago, the butterfly guard was like the go-to for MMA fighting.
Now we know how to get out.
A lot of guys, pressuring towards the ankle and then going to the side. That's like that bypasses a lot of the danger from the butterfly guard. Yeah. Whenever you're on top, you always want to pressure up and get out of the guard.
You had brought up that Joe Rogan podcast that he had recently with Bernie Sanders. Have you seen it all?
I've seen clips of it.
I've seen the clip where he kind of checked Bernie Sanders a little bit.
I think he checked him, and for some reason Bernie wasn't prepared to go into the details. That kind of bothered me about climate change. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I missed that.
So, years ago, Rogan had Candace Owens on, and Candace Owens then was saying what Joe Rogan is saying now. So she was like the climate denier then, and he tells her like 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, tells her, listen, like, have you read any of the shit that have you read any of the relevant studies? Have you done any research?
She said that she like doom scrolled one night.
Basically, yeah.
And that's how she, yeah.
And then Joe Rogan checked her, and he goes, you have to have the ability to be able to know where the fuck you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how this happened, but Joe Rogan is now Candace Owens, and he was basically feeding the same bullshit that Candace Owens feeding Joe Rogan to Bernie Sanders.
How much is it hanging out with the right wing, or how much is it like your boss is telling you, hey, kind of go in this direction?
I don't know, dude. I think Joe Rogan is just very.
He's all over the place, bro.
I think his brain was broken with COVID, dude. I think when CNN fucked him over with the ivermectin shit, I think he just said fuck the left, and he just associated everybody on the left and Democrats with CNN, and he went full fucking like Trump tard.
I will talk bro science all day and night, but I'm not gonna say listen to me over your doctor. Your doctor says get a vaccine, get the vaccine. Like I'm not. I'll give you my opinion. I'll give you my experience, but
Yeah, and there was another segment in that same podcast where they were talking about authoritarianism, right? And Bernie Sanders was saying that he feels that Trump's lawsuits against media companies and colleges is just a step right out of the authoritarian playbook.
Right.
And Joe Rogan was trying to say, but should media companies like edit interviews to like help out candidates?
Historically, that's actually kind of been the norm in journalism. That you take the clue and you're instructed to like clean out the ums and the stuff like that. Like
you want
that's always been like a standard practice. To the extent that you could say that that's like manipulating the edit, you look at the raw footage, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but there was an interview also with Trump and Fox News where like he had some shitty answer where they asked him if he was going to release the Epstein list, and he was like, well, actually,
And then he quickly like, wait a minute, as long as it doesn't do harm to people, or
not so much, you know what I mean? and Fox News edited that to make it seem they edited out where it looked like he was fucking like double dealing.
Yeah.
And so can they be sued? Should they be sued?
No, the whole thing, the fact that, I mean, like ABC and like that corporation, like it really bothered me that they have all the fucking money. They spent so much on lawyers and they settled, like they caved. Like, I don't know, that sets a terrible precedent.
Thing?
Yeah. Like, if anybody of all people, it should be fucking Disney. You know what I mean? Like in this country, like you can fuck with everyone except Mickey Mouse.
No, man. But you know what? I don't know if you mentioned this point, but a lot of these media companies and even Harvard at first, I believe it was Harvard, just completely just taking the knee and just doing whatever Trump says. It's like.
There was a couple law firms that did give in to like
and
Trump's
law firms, right.
And then there were some that didn't. But you notice the ones that didn't were the ones that a lot of their trial attorneys. They pick fights for a living, so of course, like they fucking loved it when they got a letter from the government saying that they were demanding something.
It's an opportunity.
The ones that caved are the people that do non-trial stuff, the people who process paperwork for big mergers and stuff like that. Like those lawyers are the ones that like just give him what he wants. It's cheaper that way.
Yeah.
And that's what's frustrating about this kind of thing is that the path of least resistance, even for these big corporations who have the money to do whatever they want, are still susceptible to this guy who, like, I don't understand.
And you know what, man? And like just seeing this guy's playbook, Trump's like playbook, just completely trying like to bully, media companies and like we mentioned 5-6 years ago, or maybe I should say maybe about 8-10 years ago, you never really thought that this was even possible, right? Because the way our politics ran, especially before the Trump era, we were in an era, man, where it's like you couldn't really tell the difference between the Republican and the Democrat Party. They were both really just corporate parties, right?
Right.
It's kind of like professional wrestling. I mean, they're in front of the cameras, they're gonna fucking slap each other, they're gonna hurt each other, but behind the scenes, they knew what the goal was.
Right.
Right. And when it came to war, like the Iraq War, everybody was in lockstep, repeating the exact same message, right? Because both parties are just corporate parties at that point. And there's a little difference in the margins, right? But now, it's like the Republican Party has pulled itself so far to the right? And the Democrat Party is like trying to find its identity, right? And that's what we see with like what's happening in New York right now, with the victory of for the mayor Mondani, right? And we know what the base wants. the base wants people that are gonna fucking fight.
Right.
Right? The base wants somebody that people that are gonna stand in the fucking way. I'm reminded of when Elon Musk started with this Doge shit, right? And all the Democrats were sitting outside of the Treasury building,
Right.
and they were just out there with the microphones. Go the fuck inside the building, man.
Right.
Get arrested.
Right.
Fucking do what you gotta do. That's what people want to see.
Right.
Not this fucking show.
Right.
You know, they want to see strength. They want to see somebody fighting back, and that's why Bernie Sanders and AOC are doing better than a lot of these other corporate Democrats because they're at least fucking showing a backbone.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a bunch of people hitting the streets right now. All these protests, the largest manifestation that we've seen in history. Apparently, 5 million people across the country with no Kings protest.
Right.
Like, who's absorbing that energy? Is the Democratic Party absorbing that and bringing people in, or are they just on the sideline watching while this happens? I think this is interesting. I was seeing a report earlier. I saw it somewhere on TikTok, where the more extreme that Donald Trump governs, the more of a reality that there's an AOC presidency, like the lashback to it, right? Like, it seems crazy. It's like, I think it's a long shot still, but like this turnaround what we're seeing in the streets. I mean, I'm talking to 70-year-old grandmas on Medicaid, dude. They're in the streets. They're talking to moderate Democrats and saying, "Fucking do something."
Yeah.
Like, now's not the time to moderate. Now's the time to punch. And we got Senator Mastro in Nevada flirting to vote with MAGA on this big bad beautiful bill stuff. It's frustrating. It's like, now is the moment to really punch, man. Like, Trump, in my opinion, absolutely loves to step on moderate Democrats, bro. Fucking just
The
they're
mansions.
begging, like, let's sort of like these respectability politics, like trying to play the game like it used to be played before.
Joe Biden.
And we have to like reach across the aisle, and we have to try to work with these guys. And Donald Trump just laughs at them, bro. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll work with you, and then just fucking steps on them.
Yeah.
And so, like, if Trump is attacking Mondami and if he's attacking AOC, it's because in the culture war, he sees them as a threat, not the moderates. Those are the folks that could defeat him in pop culture, not the moderates, right? Now the moderates I understand, are trying to get shit done in government, but it's just like the moment that we're in is so fucking hard. Like, Trump is just fucking running and stepping on people, bro. Like, with that, and that's my frustration. So, like, now that people that traditionally were moderate Democrats hitting the streets and asking for the party to be more aggressive, we can't miss. Like, there's still time to capture and absorb that energy, but yeah, dude, it's just that's one of the observations I'm making right now.
Yeah.
Are there any candidates who are aggressive right now to keep an eye out for?
We just talked about him a little bit, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
New York. Yeah.
I mean, it's
There's Mondami in New York City, but like the interesting about New York City, obviously it's a blue state, blue. But what I'm looking forward to learning is that you all know that New York stayed blue during the Trump election, but it actually shifted like 8-10 points to the right. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out, like, did some of those Trump voters vote for Mondami in New York? Like, is there like, because we know there was like a Bernie Trump voter.
Right. Crossover.
Is that what we're seeing in New York? And I don't know if there's you looked into that.
There's a slice of people who are always going to be the contra, and they're always going to vote for the disruptor, and they don't really care how they're disrupting things. They just want to see shit get disrupted. And that's what Trump and Mondami have in common, is that they're proposing that they're going to change everything and shake up the system, and everything's going to be awesome, and shit's going to be free, and, all this stuff. I'm really interested to see if it works. I mean, once you hit the bureaucracy, like, and the rubber meets the road, and actually trying to execute on these things.
Yeah. And that's that famous Bernie Trump crossover as well, right? There's like that populism, right? Well, one's real, one isn't, right? But there was a crossover there. Like, I had a buddy who was a real big Bernie Sanders supporter, and then he turned Trump, and I'm like, man, I can't make that connection. But people that work 9 to 5 or they're busting their ass, that don't got time to be political junkies like us, they're connecting dots that we don't see, And I think we'd be wise to kind of pay attention to that.
I think the majority of the country is economically populist. That's why they voted for Trump. They just kind of Trump misguided people in his vision of being an economic populist versus a Bernie type of economic populist, who's very much about, like, government like helping raise the minimum wage and Medicare for all. And Trump was talking about like, writing checks directly and with his name on it and overtime pay, like I mentioned. But people were just hearing money in my pocket, but they hear it on both, right? So like it's interesting, people try to attack like socialists, like moderate Democrats are attacked like socialists, but people like I don't think give a shit about that. They don't give a shit if it's a right winger or a socialist. It's like this guy talking about my pocket to hold my pocket.
And there's this one. I think there's this one phenomenon right now. I think the Democratic Party would be wise to pay attention to. Is that so? You got like this like repeat of the Red Scare happening with Mondani. Like they're just straight up fucking racist at this point, man. Like they're saying some of the just.
Charlie Kirk is going.
The most bizarre thing about I'm not from New York. I've never been to New York, but the most bizarre thing was the whole. Does Israel have a right to exist? And everywhere, the one common thread that I saw in every Mondami interview was like him getting that question. And
Stephen Colbert asked him that fucking
right, of all people,
right?
And that's it's
yeah. How did it become about Israel? Like a mayor's race.
I thought this was America, man.
He's running for mayor.
How like everybody, all the candidates got asked like,
where would you go for vacation?
Everybody said Israel.
Like
and Mondami's like, I'll stay right here in New York City. Tucker Carlson gave him props for that.
No, he's
right winger.
No, he's talented, man. As a politician, he's crafty.
No, like you always expect that that, like they know, like they're like self-aware that they're doing a fucking bit, that they're like performing.
Right.
And then like when they drop that veneer, like what happened in the Ted Cruz thing, where it's all like he knows he's a piece of shit. It's just like who he directs it at. There was like where they got comfortable with each other, and I think they spoke in the way that they really are. There was that one moment where he was like, "Don't be so smarmy," and then Tucker was like immediately like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right. It's a problem. It's a problem." I mean, like he knows like he's a carnival barker.
And as much as I hate Ted Cruz, I hated him even more for making me side with fucking Tucker Carlson.
That was crazy, right? Like for a second, I was like, "Go Tucker."
Yeah,
like,
we might
Tucker,
have two Ted Cruzes coming from Texas because Ken Paxton might be the other senator.
How does he keep getting voted in, man?
Corruption.
fucking-
Do you think Ken
Dinosaurs in
Paxton's
Texas,
vulnerable in Texas?
Obviously not.
I mean, obviously not, but like, here's the thing. Ken Paxton's an interesting case because a lot of people say like nobody else could do it like Trump. When Trump is gone, like what is the Republican Party going to do? Can somebody replicate what Trump does? Like get away with basically murder and people still love him? Is anybody else in the Republican Party have that type of power, that type of ability?
No, man.
You're saying Ken Paxton does in Texas? That guy's literally a felon, bro.
Yes, right, but he's a party fucking impeachment. No, but I mean, like the way he got out of that impeachment, thing is that Texas is so gerrymandered that you actually don't need too many votes, even on the Republican primary side. Their calculus is very different, where we only need a couple thousand people in this district to move this guy out of the way.
Right.
So either do what we say, or you do what I say, or I'm going to spend the money to convince those 18,000 people to primary you and vote you out. And that's how he's able to do that. But I mean, as far as him winning a statewide election for Senate, it'll be interesting to see.
Who's this?
Ken Paxton.
Ken Paxton. Yeah. I don't know, man. I thought he was when the last time that Greg Abbott ran, I thought maybe he was the most vulnerable, but no, he still won by 10 points, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, Ken Paxton did the worst out of the three of them, Lieutenant Dan and Greg Abbott.
Lieutenant Dan is what you said?
Yeah.
I thought they were talking about Greg.
Let's talk about that fucking asshole, dude.
Yeah, he's trying to stop Abbott. The one thing I like Abbott on is the legalization.
Yeah, the veto.
I'd like to
finally grow backbone. Or was it old Hot Wheels?
Yeah. Like Dan Patrick and Mitch McConnell are like two people that like if I ever met them, the urge to get arrested would be so high. Like I'd like to think that the GoFundMe money would be there to where like the slap, like the backhand would be worth it. Like why do you have to be such a piece of shit? You know, like
That's not a bad
Body
point,
shot,
man.
man. You
Yeah.
want the body shot.
like you know,
That would be for a worthy cause.
I mean, like who
If that racist ass bitch that called that little fucking 5-year-old black boy the N word,
raised $1 million?
she raised $1 million, bro. That's America in 2025.
Where are we at, bro? Where are we at?
Where are we at? And
That's crazy.
it's wild, dude. It's wild, and we're in some.
Yeah, I do feel vindicated. Back in the day, I used to tell people like America's still very racist, and people would just laugh at me like you're crazy. Like that's 60 shit. And now I feel vindicated. I'm sad about it,
But what's
I'm sad about it, but I'm vindicated. Like,
look, what sucks, man. Like
told you it was still there.
as a Republican in that circuit around that time, I felt like the left overused the racist word, you know. And if you overuse it, it becomes meaningless, you know.
Right.
And when the real racists come out, like they are now, it's all over social media, dude. Like they're not even hiding anymore.
Dude, Charlie Kirk, the way he's talking about Mandami, dude.
It's like calling everyone a Nazi. It's like at some point it just loses the meaning.
Yeah, man. And then you call him a racist because he's actually being a racist. It loses all its power.
Yeah.
It loses all its meaning, you know.
Yeah.
And that one I lay on the feet of the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's always our fault, right? Like,
No, I mean for that one it is.
Yeah.
For that one it is.
I will say we just had the first fight of the night finish. It was a decision win for Peyton Talbot.
Talbot won?
Yeah, Talbot won. Lime took the playbook I made, pressure him, and fucking Talbot is just like, let me work on my scrambling. So he tried to take him down, fucking do crazy spider jiu-jitsu shit, end up on top, do the ground and pound. Beautiful work. Beautiful
Well,
work.
I do gotta say, God bless Michael here for keeping this train on the tracks.
I did see Lima take some hits there. Sorry, as we were talking.
Dude,
But,
this is my most anticipated fight right now. Renato Mercado.
Dariush.
Dude, the last fight, a couple of fights ago, Mercado said he won his fight, and when he was on the mic, he said, "Oh, my dad is in his late 60s. He just had another kid right now. I'm gonna go home to my wife. I'm gonna get her pregnant again."
Brazilians to UFC are basically what like
Royalty.
yeah, like they're the
I mean, it all started basically with Horace Gracie, huh? UFC, man. Like wasn't the first UFC champion Horace Gracie?
It was, but we also have to keep in fact that the Gracie family had set up all the fights there, so they knew they were not bringing in professional Muay Thai fighters. They were not bringing in people who
they were working at like it's that's the
Exactly,
problem with these things.
Bro,
man.
Dan Severn's gonna if he listens to this, he's gonna be offended.
Dan
at that.
Sever didn't know fucking submissions then. He said if he knew submissions, he'd have won that whole fucking night.
So I hate to do this. Can I run to the ref real quick?
Yeah, bro. Go ahead.
Hey,
Shane.
Leave it on.
I'll leave it on.
Shane.
Oh, you know what? Actually, no.
Shane.
Shame.
Yo, you want a competition? You cross the streams right now. You cross the streams, you see your wings. God damn it.
No, yeah, I mean, the inception of UFC was insane, man. It was wild.
Who was
there
the
was
best?
there was no weight classes.
Yeah,
Dude,
it was just you would just fight until somebody won.
dude, I remember being a kid, man, and going to like the
Hollywood Video.
Blockbuster.
I was at a Hollywood Video down here. This street here, yeah.
Like there was a UFC. I forget which one it was, but it was literally titled David versus Goliath.
I remember the little silver fighting dude for the UFC.
Yeah, the ball in the world.
He looked like Cinder from Killer Instinct.
Right, yeah.
That's a deep cut for y'all.
Hey, and back then they didn't give a fuck, dude, man, because there's this fight where they put that what's that big black dude's name in the Karate Gi? Do you remember?
Oh, motherfucking
Patterson? Is it?
I don't think
No,
it was
no,
Patterson.
Gary Goodridge. Gary Goodridge. He had the back crucifix position, and then he just fucking threw knees to elbows, man, right in the guy's head.
He's the first dude to ever do that shit, right?
Well, because they fucking outlawed that shit afterwards, man.
The crucifix?
Actually, no, crucifix is fine. No, you can't knees a grounded opponent.
Right.
So you can't do that anymore.
All right, man. In this next fight, I know who you're going for, but who do you got?
Dariush, man. But this is gonna be the fucking fight of the night, in my opinion, man.
Give a
Both
rundown of
these
the fight.
They like to fucking brawl. Their jiu-jitsu is legitimate. It's not like I said, man. It's not like these modern fucks, you know. Like these guys, they can submit people. At UFC 300, Moicano actually got traditional, the mount. He got the submission, man. Like you don't see. Mainly, it's like folk wrestling style, man. You get the better position. You keep throwing punches and stuff. This was old school, traditional jiu-jitsu, man. You know, and I appreciate that shit.
So you got Dariush.
I got Dariush though. Black belt, but also his fucking main trainer is Anderson Silva's trainer. So he specializes in taking grapplers and then making them fucking aggressive kickboxers. Like he tells them, like, listen to me. When you had surgery, the surgeon put a plate there. You cannot get knocked out.
Damn.
Yeah, like it's more aggression to the point of insanity. Because sometimes that's what you want. You want the person who will go forward.
All right. I'm convinced, man. You know the sport.
Take it easy over here.
No, like you will get the outfight. Like that is the beautiful part. You will get the guys who like to go forward and pressure. You will get the guys who love to work on the back foot, work the counter punches. Who is better than who? That's the question.
Yeah, what strategy fits him?
Okay. Let's see. All right. We got the fighters coming out.
What's up, Ozzy?
Got Moicano right here. Renato Moicano just fought for the UFC Lightweight Championship. He got taken out with a first round Darce choke.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The guy who beat him is Makhachev, Dagestani wrestler. Training partners with Khabib Nurmagomedov. But dude, Islam is the beast. He beat the record for most defenses at the lightweight championship. And he's going up right now to welterweight. But Renato Moicano, who jiu-jitsu black belt, he's aggressive, he's got hands. I'm looking forward to this fight very much, man.
In your day, did you ever do wrestling or anything like this?
Most feared man in fucking Edinburgh.
High school
I
days?
will tell you, I wish I did, man. I did judo back in the day, but you know how it is, man. Hindsight is 20/20.
That's cool.
But it's important. I believe it is important to learn basic wrestling, man, because wrestling is so powerful when it comes to jiu-jitsu as well. Because the first phase of jiu-jitsu, take them down. You don't want to deal with that power if someone's standing up. Because if they're standing up, they can generate as much power as their muscle, as their rotation can do. But if you take them down, like say you throw a ball, you're standing up, you're going to throw it a lot further than if you're on the ground. You can't generate as much power.
Yeah.
And then you get the position, you limit what they can do as far as hitting you, as far as, sweeping you, submitting you.
Yeah.
Now, this information is going to come very useful when we get Maggie in here and shit might get out of hand.
Man, I was looking forward to that.
Listen to me. I got your fucking back no matter fucking what. You know this. You have seen this.
This would have been fun as hell.
That's beautiful.
We're the Maggie guys, man.
No,
I'm maybe next time.
okay, so look. They're making a lot of promises, and there's these couple of guys in particular. They're making a lot of promises, and the way I envisioned everything would have been perfect, having two here, two there, just fucking, just a battle of wits, right? Just having that conversation.
Exactly.
But
there's plenty of beer.
Man, what I found is that when it comes to social media debates, they love the keyboard. But when it comes to actually debating, we're the masculine ones. and I think it's time to reclaim that, man.
Yeah.
I do.
You should name names to see who backed out.
Yo,
No, because then they might not want to come back because
yo,
egos.
What defines masculinity to you? What defines it?
That's a good question. What defines masculinity? I think masculinity is very basic. It's looking out for others.
Oh shit!
Very simple.
Yeah, taking care of others.
Taking care of others.
Taking care of family.
Being a leader.
Yeah.
Being a leader. Standing up to bullies.
Yeah.
That's masculinity.
Who changed it to Paul?
Having empathy.
Right.
Understanding. I think all those are masculine qualities. But like when I think of masculinity, I think of all the things that my dad taught me as a kid, right? Just the basic rules, man. Just
Yeah. Well, a lot of the young guys that were that voted for Trump, what they're saying in polling and like circles, like research, because there's people reaching out to them like, what is the thing about Trump that you identify with? Is that he has family traditional values and,
Fuck he
and
does.
he's got
Fuck's born
the
son.
masculine
While
values.
his wife
and-
is giving birth.
100%. But and he shows strength, which I think the strength is bullshit. It's a facade.
He's a fat piece of shit.
It's a cosplay.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I could talk to that all day, but is it real? Like
when the pellets the floor, like, are you gonna respond to the draft when it comes, right?
Right.
Or are you gonna just fucking
that's why he's taco, bro.
depend on your
no,
rich,
we're going
on
to
your
Mexico.
rich daddy's
I'm going to
friends
Mexico with you with my
to
family.
give you a fucking waiver? Are you about it?
Well, fuck.
Or are you just all talk, man? And I really do think Trump is all talk, man.
Trump always chickens out.
Well,
The
fuck,
taco
man.
tip. That's why that really hit.
It's making me feel better and worse at the same time, man. Shit.
Is that the lawyer on there, dude? What's Oscar doing there?
Is that Oscar?
Oh, is that the fight? Is that the boxing
That's
match?
the fucking Jake Paul
That's
fight.
tonight, right? The Jake Paul fight with
brilliant. You are
I'm interested in
brilliant,
that
man.
Are you doing picture in picture? You'll get your dick sucked later, not by me, but by somebody else.
Hi, man. How you feeling tonight, brother?
Keep on.
Listen, I will never ask anyone to do something I won't do. I'll suck dick, okay?
Uh-oh, and what the...
And then my fear is that I'll be good at it.
What's going on, bro? After a conversation about masculinity, we got to sucking dick.
I don't know what it's not, right?
I'm straight as a motherfucker, man.
I can see it from here.
Hey, listen to me.
What he was doing was giving the counter example. Right?
Yeah.
My politics woke as fuck. I want to give my gay and trans brothers, sisters, theys.
Yes.
That's what I want to do.
Guns?
Guns. I want to give them guns.
Hey, if
they don't like
we
them.
all showed up with guns at the Texas Capitol
Oh, yeah.
peacefully,
Oh,
what do you think?
exactly.
What do you think Abbott will do?
We would fucking take jackhammers to his little ramps because he was against DEI. So, fuck you.
He's a ladder pusher. The reason
He can fucking walk. I bet you anything. I bet you $100, man. If you get after him, he will get up. One of my favorite horror movies, a dude in a wheelchair. Slasher showed up. He was just like, no! The guy in a wheelchair just popped up and just sprinted off.
Man, it could have been around October of last year. There's this guy. He has a podcast. His name's Jake Barr.
Big bar.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He has his own little podcast. Right winger, complete MAGA, Trump supporter. And we had this debate. And the first time that we met, he comes to my house, and he's like, bro, you look like a Trump supporter.
I get that. I've gotten that.
And I'm thinking in my mind, like in its simplest form,
Right.
like that's what it is right there.
Right.
It's just all about image.
How you look, image. Yeah, 100%.
In image, right? It's not about like true masculinity. It's not about like being strong. It's not about any of that shit.
Oh!
These fucking guys have Trump's face on Rambo's body.
Right.
in the back of their
Isn't that
trucks.
the weirdest shit ever? Like,
It's the fucking gayest shit ever,
bro.
dude.
That's weird.
You know, like it's the most homoerotic bullshit coming from these guys.
I've seen one. He's like riding a velociraptor.
Yeah. I see that shit.
Like,
Dude.
And now they're calling him daddy.
are we deranged?
Yeah.
Like I've seen people. They got 37 Trump flags while they're going live, and they're telling somebody, "You got TDS. You got TDS."
Trump was it Trump devotion syndrome?
Yeah, but the real serious brothers that are really like masculine, that are really the right, like the good brothers. They're not out there,
Doing all that bullshit,
doing all that
dude.
shit. They're in a ranch, bro. They're really working.
Yeah, they're fucking
They're
working
just
their
spending.
asses
I
off, man.
fucking spent 10 hours in the sun today doing all kinds of shit. Like, not showboating about that, right? Like, it's just part of the responsibility.
Right. I mean,
It's not
that's-
something I'm putting on fucking TikTok.
That's
like,
a part of being a man, right?
yeah, it's just part of it. Yeah.
Doing what you got to do.
And so this whole I'm showing up with like my cowboy boots, cowboy hat to places people are surprised. Like, damn, dude, like
Yeah.
you're pretty leftist. I was like, bro, like it's. My dad was a cowboy too, bro. Like, and he was Democrat, like JFK. Like, it's not these lines, bro. Like, it's weird.
But the problem is, man, is that perception is reality.
Yeah.
Perception is reality. And the perception is that the Democrat Party is a party of
Bunch of bitches.
the trans people and the
Right.
gay people
Absolutely.
and the bitch and the bitches, right?
I mean,
like,
I've known
it's a Big Ten party. Like,
I've known plenty of Republicans being bitches. Ted Cruz being prime example.
but see,
Prime example.
but the problem with the Democrat Party is that they've
They
allowed
win.
themselves to be.
The difference is that they win.
right.
The thing is,
you know,
the Republican Party is most definitely not the trans party either. Because they're out there running advertisements telling that the trans people are going to go into your restrooms and rape you while you're there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Meanwhile, they don't do anything about the male rapists and shit.
like I recall.
Right. 99.9% of the rapes are from straight men.
Like I recall an ad
in
for,
evangelical churches.
For, what was
Oh!
what's the name?
Shit. I told you, man, this is the people's event.
It ain't looking good for Dark.
Yeah, dude,
these are-
this is started.
Look at this spider jujitsu shit right here, man.
Is that McConnell on top? Yeah.
McConnell on top. McConnell on top.
When you say it, it sounds wrong.
But it's not. I was waiting for somebody to say something stupid.
Oh
Two,
shit!
oh, fuck, to the body.
Oh, he's hurt, man.
Ooh. Both of these
Oh, yeah, his knees broke.
fucking
He's
throw.
swinging for the fences,
They
man.
will
Dario
fucking
is.
throw.
He let him get up, man.
there.
Yeah. God damn. Yeah, man. You know, and I've been thinking about that for a while, man. Like within the Democratic Party, especially here in the Valley, like who's been running like the last couple of years. We got Michelle Vallejo,
Right.
right? And she's running again.
Is she?
I think so.
I mean, she's staying relevant, right? Staying in the
Right.
in the public
And
scene.
is it true that?
I think that's what you mean, right? That she's just staying in the
right,
public
like
scene.
she's
yeah.
broadcasting that she might run again. Oh. But as far as like,
I can't imagine anyone's asking her to. Like,
I mean-
who's asking? Who's out there standing Michelle Vallejo?
well, especially after these last 2-3 elections that she's run.
Yeah,
And,
it's rough, but there's a bunch of other states. You know, I just like. Yeah.
But especially now where I feel like MAGA is like vulnerable. Especially in the midterms coming up, like there's a real vulnerability.
Trump
right
has a
now.
41% approval rating in Texas right now.
in Texas.
Democrats aren't doing much better, but right now, the poll just came out last week, the newest one, 41% out of the University of Texas. I don't know if it's got a little bit of a liberal streak to it, but it is a downwards. It is going down.
The trend is going down.
The trend is going down overall. I think it was like at 60%. And immigration is no longer the most important thing for Republican voters. They care about other shit now.
Yeah.
So like Trump talking about immigration and attacking immigrants,
It's turning off.
it's not what it was just a year ago.
It's turning people off, man. Because what Trump promised was that he was going to go after the criminals. Right, not your fucking neighbor fucking Jesus, who's fucking busting his ass out in the fucking, as a contractor
And
shit,
not Jesus' kids, man, who've done nothing but they were born in the country.
Or
and then apparently that's being argued against
or
right
six.
now.
Or I don't know if you guys saw this. A 6-year-old with leukemia
Right.
Bro, like, what the fuck, man?
Right.
Like, there's something, Joe Rogan, like, he said this years back, and he said again recently, dude, like, if you're cool with that shit, like, you're not a part of the team, man.
Right.
Like, and it's not about, like, that shit shouldn't be, like, right and left. If you're cool with that kind of shit, dude, like, you're not a part of, like, the human team. That's that's fascism.
Yeah.
And I hate throwing around that word.
Right.
Because, again, like, you overuse words,
Right.
but you got to call a fucking cigar a cigar, man.
Yeah.
When these guys are showing up with masks on in unmarked vehicles, not showing you their badges when you ask for them, fuck them.
No worries.
This is Texas, man. I'm surprised there's not more fucking brains scattered on the floor.
How
Fuck
true?
yeah.
Because those folks don't buy guns for the most part. Like
The what?
those folks don't have guns.
Yeah.
Like
Right, like, it works
immigrant
like-
communities don't buy guns.
No, but I'm saying
en masse.
like for example, like if
It's not part of our culture in that
if
respect.
I'm out there, right, and I carry, right, and I see some dudes jump out of a fucking van,
Yeah,
with
they're
masks
unmarked,
on,
yeah.
unmarked, and you're trying to, and they're kidnapping somebody because they're not even sure. Dude, there's gonna be fucking blood all over the floor. Because what kind of fucking dipshit wouldn't do that? Like,
Dude, I'm convinced some of those guys are Proud Boys, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like, that's a kind of that's pretty understood.
A lot of them are guards at prisons that are deputized, and the guards at prisons, that's like the lowest totem pole in law enforcement. Those are the flunkies that couldn't be cops.
Dude,
finally getting to live out their fantasies of
best friends
Why
in
are
the
they
world.
some of them are associated with Proud Boys and all that.
I'm sure some of them are, but a lot of those
Yeah, man.
masked ICE
One of my
agents
best friends
are
in college,
deputized
Russ, is a
prison
corrections
guards.
officer, man. Fucking, if he hasn't cheated on her, he has been planning it. It's fucking crazy, man.
Go over there.
No, puppy.
Crazy, dude.
But yeah, man, and that's the kind of shit that like made it immigration a strong suit for Trump into a weakness. Like,
Go over there.
He went too far.
I don't know if you saw the Harry Anton piece on CNN when he was talking about CNN, right? About the riots happening in LA.
Yeah.
And, like, it turns out, man, that like usually protests aren't very popular, but Trump lost a lot of political capital, sending in the fucking Marines, and and deputizing the National Guard and shit.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of capital, and at that point is where a winning issue for Trump started to become a losing issue.
Right.
Because I mean, people aren't for that shit, man. Dude, and we still live in a racist country.
Yep.
But when you look at all the fucking white liberals that are out there marching, there's no benefit to themselves, right?
Right.
I mean, they're out there showing their faces and marching. You gotta respect the shit out of that, dude.
Yeah, I'm down. Like some of the most viral moments right on TikTok are like these like white dudes that have like Spanish something on their shirt, like with a
Yeah.
raza or something, and they get a lot of love, which is cool. And they're validators, so I always appreciate like a good validator. Let's say it's some like 60-year-old dude that looks like a Trump supporter, but isn't, and shows up to support.
Yeah. Veteran.
Yeah, or a veteran.
Yeah.
I've been talking to the folks over at Common Defense or veterans that are, really standing up for VA for VA benefits and stuff
Right.
because that's part of the cuts right now, which is crazy. The Republican Party's considering to cut like VA funds and all of that, but like
The party
these folks are like defending deported veterans, but they also like care about democracy. They care about immigrants.
Yeah.
They put out a statement condemning, Marines in LA. Like these are veterans, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and they're, I don't know if they're the majority, but it's a pretty good amount of them like that are out there speaking up, who served, who
Right.
were in Iraq and shit, Afghanistan. Like they wear that uniform proudly, and they're very critical. And I think those voices need to be uplifted a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an excusable situation in which excuses you to deploy the military on your own population. Like, just the fact that you're sending the Marines, it doesn't matter if you agree with the raids or not. Like, you're sending armed forces to contain
Right.
civilians. Like, that's not a good look regardless.
And I don't know if you or Abel might know more about this, but over the last couple of days, I've been hearing about like this like militarized zone here. in
Yeah,
Cali.
the
Like,
county
what's-
judge just
what's
put
that
out a
about?
thing about how it's. I mean, they've been talking about the valley like that for forever, how it's a war zone, and this, and that. But isn't it just like a paperwork thing that they need to do in order to ramp up, basically Operation Lone Star on steroids?
At the federal level,
Right, at the federal level. That's
I mean, I
what it is,
understand
bro.
they basically replace the international water boundary. Like, there's like a government agency for like international water boundary. Because I'm not an expert on it, but essentially they were told to step out to like let the DoD come in, Department of Defense. And whatever resources was being occupied by the international water boundary, like those employees are just like had to step off. But it's something to look into.
I need you to look into it.
And how like they were able to do that.
Shit.
But like, what's the main purpose of them doing that? What's the whole point of what they're doing?
I think it's a procedural thing that allows them to divert resources that they otherwise couldn't, unless there's some sort of like order in place. It's kind of like when they issue a disaster declaration after a flood, and that you have to do that in order to divert more federal resources to that area because of that order. It's something similar to that. Like, I'm not a super expert on it, but just from what I know, that's kind of what it's about.
This
And
is
it
a
also,
podcast. We're not super experts on jack.
I mean, Air
Something
Force
kind
put
of-
out a statement, so you ever have a chance, go to the Air Force. They literally have a statement about what they're doing down here. I need to read it a little more in depth, but
No, I texted a buddy who every time Barack Obama would do something that he thought was going above and beyond, he'd get real queasy. And I told him, I sent him an article about this, and I told him, I go, imagine if Obama was doing this shit, man.
oh, dude,
The Antichrist.
dude, I mean, they got a guy hit by Fox News for wearing a tattoo.
Obama probably wouldn't win a Democratic primary in 2026.
Oh,
Like,
Why do you say that?
huh? Because the Obama from 2008 is exactly who gets canceled by the fringe part of the Democratic Party that has an outsized voice in the way things run.
Yeah.
Yeah, because back then he wasn't for gay marriage back then.
Right.
He wasn't like pro legalization. He had like wishy-washy views on traditionally progressive issues.
Do you think that
It was
was
a
more
different time,
like the signaling because of the culture at the time?
Probably. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it was a very interesting year. Like, I think it was like when you look back on it 70, 80 years from now, they're going to look at 2008 when there was like a bellwether. Like, that was a tipping point. That was when Sarah Palin happened.
Yeah.
Which put the Republican Party on track. Like, but Sarah Palin stumbled so that Donald Trump could roll on his belly and slither on the floor.
100%.
It was Sarah Palin, it was the Tea Party.
Yeah.
It was Trump, yeah.
I will say that the common thread I agree, like, it's different politics, like, extremes and stuff, but the common thread is that Obama, when he ran, had an economic populist message. He was able to win Ohio, win all these white voters, build a coalition of, like, union, white voters from the Midwest, black voters, of course, Latino voters, like, people in the Valley here were voting 70-75% for Obama. I mean, it's crazy. People forget this at George Bush almost won the people down here. People forget this because we're talking about Trump being a phenomenon out here, but he's not necessarily the first Republican to perform like strong. Like, Bush did really good.
He put 35% or something.
Yeah,
like that.
like Bush got so much of he's had the highest Latino vote percentage of the Latino vote.
Yeah.
But it's that same shit. It's like the machismo, right? It's the cowboy. It's the.
I think Bush got a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Texan.
He's
Kind of a wild guy. I like to party.
Right.
The born again Christian bit was a thing back then too.
Us Hispanics have that soft spot for like the tough born again Christian who's like rough around the edges and is trying his best to redeem himself, but still a little bit of an asshole. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure. Yeah, got family members.
Are you seeing like activist organizations react differently to the moment? Like, what do you operate? Like, you work more in that space than I do. Are we seeing like? Do you see like a change in tactic?
I do feel that more organizations are taking the economic messaging a lot more serious. I think a lot of folks, like for example, young people, a lot of organizations that I've supported with funding last year before the election, a lot of young people were like going for like climate advocacy and abortion, which are popular issues on their own, but they're not the driving. Like that's not the driving issue that really gets people excited to go vote per se. A lot of like middle of the road. So now there's a lot more serious strategy to like talk to like people's economic pains. And I think that was a big mistake that we just weren't talking about like the economics populist message was lost, and I think Kamala was just like some of her like messaging was just like Republican light. And like why would fucking people on the Republican side vote for the JV team when they could just vote for the varsity team on these issues? When she shifted her tone on immigration and Israel and all of that. So it's either like try to get the middle, try to get some Trump supporters, or just be honest about your progressive economic populism. You might have been better off like that, because what I was mentioning to Abel is on immigration, I don't know if y'all noticed, Kamala actually changed her tone and became more conservative on immigration, toughen the border, blah, blah, blah. But why would Trump supporters vote for Plan B or the JV team? Like, well, Kamala saying she's going to be tough on the border, but Trump is the guy that's going to like shut the border down.
Yeah.
That's not convincing me. So we're better off just being the complete opposite, having a complete opposite vision of what Trump was offering.
Giving people a choice between A and B.
Right.
Not like A and A light.
Right.
Yeah, and I think...
I mean, it's risky. I'm not saying that would have been the solution. I'm not here like... that would have won the election, but I'm just saying that should have been on the table.
If you could run the clock back, and if you had Bernie Sanders versus Trump in 2020, I think Bernie might have picked that one.
It's some Chingasos, yeah.
It should have been Biden in 2016, and we never would have had Trump.
Yeah.
Because I think we can safely say that Biden would have mopped the floor with Trump in 2016.
I have a...
Well, Trump's only beating the ladies.
That's unfortunate.
Republican brother. He said, like, Republican hardcore, but he said if Bernie ran, he'd have voted for him.
I hear that too.
Yeah.
I also have a brother that's MAGA, bro, that likes Bernie.
A brother?
You think Biden would have won had he stayed in?
No.
I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I tell people...
I don't think so.
Because a lot of these MAGA dudes ask, man, you would have voted for Joe Biden? You know, the way he was? I would have voted for Joe Biden had Jill Biden came on stage with an urn with his ashes on it.
I would have voted for that.
I would have voted for Biden. Because it was so easy to foresee what's happening now then, right? Stephen Miller having complete control over the Trump administration. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk coming in the very beginning, just fucking running roughshod all over every single department, not knowing what the fuck he's doing. Big balls. Again, just downloading important information, taking it back to Elon. Like
Musk, let me put this on record. Musk has no balls. That is it.
He probably has like genetically enhanced designer balls. Like when you have that much money.
You have to get an upgrade.
That's what we need to get views here, man. Musk has no balls genetically.
He's got one of those injections on his nuts, right? Just to get that that moose knuckle.
Who won over here, man?
This guy.
Oh, but Dariush won! Fuck yeah!
Is that you 2-0 today?
I have a hard time believing that Biden would have lost in 2024. Just by looking at the track record. And also, people hate to admit that they got hustled. People don't like to admit that they got scammed. Yeah. And even though they knew that Biden was not who he says he was, and there's no way they would have come out for Biden because it's safe. It's what they know. And Kamala gave so many people like reasons not to vote for her.
Yeah.
And people remember that it was such a really short campaign, but people were already remembering
he would have lost.
Why she was one of the first ones out of the primary in 2020. And they remembered all the reasons why they hated fucking Kamala in 2020.
They should have at least had a shortened primary.
It should have been a brokered convention.
That would have been fun.
That's what it should have happened.
I don't know if y'all follow Ryan Grimm, but he had this idea where like, look, man, for like a month, 2 months, you have this primary, get the cameras out, you follow, you make it a reality TV show, right? Like you get people invested in these candidates, right?
I mean, that's Trump's basically a big reality TV show.
you suck the air out of the room, man. You know, like, and that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do, man. You got to suck the air out of the room, man. Because if not, Trump's gonna win the propaganda war, man. You know, that motherfucker's relentless. He's relentless.
That's what he's good at. I mean, that's what he knows.
He's fucking tweeting at 2 a.m., bro.
The Russian playbook, man.
He's tweeting at 2 in the morning. I mean, they got no sleep.
You're not up at 2 in the morning?
There ain't no rest for the wicked, man.
Man, dude.
You know, so I mean, there's a lot of lessons that got to be learned, man. Number one is there's got to be a masculine response on the left side. There's got to be a masculine. There's got to be a take the flag back moment on the Democratic side, because too long, you know, the Democratic Party has let itself get branded by Trump and by the right.
I mean, I think one of the things where we lost a lot of, like, for a long time, traditionally, like, the men of the Democratic Party were union members, bro.
How long ago was that?
What's that?
How long ago was that?
I mean, Biden's a union guy, so just with Biden.
Well, Biden's never had a real job. What are you talking about? He's been in the
Biden's like entire political career has been like the muscle has been unions. That's been his message for a long time.
And just credit,
even though unions, to what the point that I think Abel's trying to make is that unions have been diminishing since the 80s. That's true. Yeah. These like corporations in America have destroyed unions. However, right now, unions have never been more popular in 50 years than today.
True.
100%. But how did the Teamsters get invited to the RNC convention? Like, this was a shift. Now, 50% of Teamsters, 55-60% of Teamsters were like supporting Trump in their internal polling. That's why, like, the Teamster president said, I gotta go to the convention because I'm not a big Trump supporter, but my damn members are saying that.
The real question is, why are 55-60% of the Teamsters supporting Trump? That's the real question.
What? Yeah, the truckers, right? Like the UPS drivers and shit. Like, what's going on there?
Why do I show up to like monthly like NALC meetings and are debating Trump supporters?
Right.
Like, motherfucker, like Trump's trying to take your job.
Right.
He wants nothing more than to privatize your livelihood.
Right.
But yet here you are supporting him because it's cultural. It's cultural. A lot of these people are religious. A lot of these people have like traditional backgrounds, right? And that to them matters more, unfortunately, than how much they earn.
There used to be, back to Abel's point, there used to be like a massive 70s, 60s. I mean, we're talking a long time ago. There used to be a massive union presence in rural America. I mean, right now, Trump in Texas is kicking our ass, 80-20, 90-10 in some of these counties. The Democrats of those counties were not the local Democratic Party. It was the unions. Unions no longer exist in rural Texas. We got to get back to it. That's part of like my conversation with unions. Like, you guys got to like pick up your shit, like pick up stuff. It's time for you to like start having a presence, start recruiting some working people out there. Or if it's not the unions, if it's not AFL-CIO, who is it going to be? Like, there's no local Democratic Party. There's no more local unions, who used to be the entity, the political space. The union hall, man, the famous union hall, where everybody used to get together at. Like, that shit died out.
That shit doesn't exist anymore.
And, you know, Republicans just swept it up. Hardcore. But remember Ryan Richards' days?
I don't. No.
I don't.
We were like 5. What am I saying?
I read about him. Yeah. No, man, but you see, and that's something.
Jim Harrington and all that shit.
And that's something like there has to be a way for the Democrats to message, you know, like on the whole trans thing, man. Like we've let ourselves get defined by the trans issue, right? Trump ran that, you know, that they them ad, right? You know, he's for you, she's for they them, right? Effective. It's just branding, man. It's branding, and when you're on the receiving end of that branding, how do you fight back?
And you spend hundreds of millions of dollars on it, right? Like Ted Cruz, like it's hard.
Yeah, man. I mean,
but we make it so easy for them. Like, you know, the trans issue of if the country is a house, you know, like the economy is the foundation, like healthcare is probably the roof, windows and doors are national security. Trans issues are what kind of light covers you have on the light switches. Like you don't think about it. Like you never think about it unless you're forced to think about it.
Right.
And it's like such a small niche issue that just dominates the conversation. And what's worse is that like working with people in those communities and stuff like that, building coalitions on our side of the aisle, I think is much more difficult than it is for them.
Right.
Because like they find reasons to work together, we find reasons to not work together.
Yeah. That is probably half the left.
That's
man,
true.
Is,
That's true.
Is
That's a good
destroying
point.
each other.
That's a good point, Abel, for sure.
That's true.
And you know, like it should be okay to say like, look, like I'm not your enemy. You know what I mean? Like I'm more on your side than the other guy is. I might not be entirely on your side, and that used to be okay, but it's not anymore. And like you know, it's very frustrating that it always seems to be like the loudest people in the room that run the table,
and it's all or nothing.
and it's all or nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
But you see, but again, man, like you don't have to say okay. We don't have to say like, you know, string me along, right? Like there has to be a response. Like there has to be a response to that, even within the party. I mean, the one thing that you do got to give credit to MAGA for, man, is this whole Iran thing. They've been at war with each other, and it's very public. And even though the majority of MAGA, when you polled, if Trump says one day he's for this, they're going to support it. The next day, if he says for something else, they're going to support that.
follow him.
Right? At least the talking heads, like the Carlsons or whatever, at least there's a debate happening, a very public debate, right? None of that shit's happening within the. I mean, who's debating each other on the Democratic side
About any issue?
about any issue?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have this guy who gets elected in New York, Mandani, right?
Yeah.
The whole party as a whole is almost coming out against him,
Right.
right? They see him as a threat, right? Like they're not seizing the moment, right? Like they're so caught up in their corporate, identity that they can't see a way forward,
Right.
because like I said, because they're just so caught up in their own ways, right? This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity.
killing
Mandani, bro, is
politicians.
whether you want to admit it or not, is a once in a lifetime politician. He's good.
Well, let's give it some time.
Let's give it
He
some
hasn't
time.
won anything yet.
Well, I'll tell you what,
he's
man,
not in office yet.
The mechanisms of war are, they have their muzzles on them right now, right, on both sides.
Yeah.
And that to me is always a good sign,
Yeah.
right? When Trump goes after you, a mayor, he's a threat. It's because he sees you as a threat,
Right.
right? And now they're talking about like old laws about communism from the 50s, right? I mean, you got Republicans talking about denaturalizing it.
Are they gonna strip Barron Trump of citizenship?
I think he was the one that mentioned some shit like that.
Trump is like Barron Trump is an anchor baby, right?
Trump.
Right, like under the traditional definition,
Was that Barron?
Barron Trump is Melania's kid.
Right.
She wasn't a citizen when he was born.
Well, there you go.
She overstayed her visa, I think, at one point.
Anchor baby.
Send her back.
But of course, I mean, the rules don't apply to them, man.
The one thing that, I'm all for the Big Ten and figuring out how to win and then settling our differences after the election, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't like how, you just mentioned it, there's kids with cancer that are being detained by ICE. Like, there's people being sent to Central America. I mean, there's races like raising $1 million for like talking shit to a kid. And then some moderates are equating the far left with the racist shit that the far right is doing.
Listen,
Like I don't think it's equated. When Mandami's talking about like, they're calling him a socialist because he wants to like freeze rent. That is not equated to being a racist motherfucker on the right.
listen.
Like, you have a problem with far left, can have a problem, but don't equate it to
Let me put
crazy
my
ass
name to
fascism
this.
in the right.
Let me put my name to this. Fuck ICE.
Tell her how you feel it.
so you're not connected. Fuck ICE.
I mean, I don't mind saying fuck guys.
I already said abolish ICE on Facebook.
And look,
See,
I mean,
this is room temperature. Fuck ice.
no, but I do see your point, and
Right, it's like, damn, like, they're using the word socialist, but really they're talking about they have a problem with him freezing rent.
And the irony is, they're saying this as they're getting ready to cut Medicaid.
Right.
That's why Mondani's winning.
Right.
Because on the one hand, you have the Republicans who are taking health care away from average Americans just to pay for tax cuts.
Right.
People don't want that shit, man.
Yeah.
They don't.
Right.
And then you have this other guy he sounds like Bernie Sanders. Call him a communist. Nobody gives a shit, man. At the end of the day, are you going to help me?
Right.
You know, that's all it boils down to. You know, just like on the left, the whole racist label has lost its meaning. Eventually,
This socialist communist word has faded out.
loses its fucking
I agree
meaning.
with that. It's faded out over time.
It's faded out. That shit don't matter no more. Bernie Sanders fucking burned that shit down.
You got Republicans saying things like, the government doesn't have any right to tell me what to do with my food stamps.
It's that old Tea Party trope. Like, get your government hands off my Medicare.
There's been a lot of chatter on social media about what's going on right now with the 50-51 movement. It's like the Tea Party of the Dem side. Do you think? Remember the Tea Party kind of took over the establishment?
Well, it was supposed to be indivisible for a while, no?
Indivisible.
Too.
And then Indivisible's kind of involved with this movement, but this movement seems to be bigger. Just like, I mean, the town halls, like, I work with some people in northern Arizona where, like, the Oath Keepers are, like, have a strong base, and there's these, like, white people that completely wiped out MAGA in Prescott, Arizona, in Conoway, Arizona. There were, like, 5-0 MAGA majority city councils have been completely flipped. Nobody's talking about that stuff that's happening already this year, since November. The actual municipal elections of MAGA folks that are just getting their asses kicked. It even happened here in Texas in some races.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting.
Happened here in McAllen.
Happened here in McAllen, right? You were involved in that.
Yeah, one of my friends was run for office in the McAllen school board. He's a prominent, businessman running against a full-on MAGA chud. And won like 75-25. It was like the biggest electoral ass whooping of the night, like across any race. Wasn't even close. And then in the city race too, there was MAGA people running that just completely got their shit wrecked.
Yeah, like Wilkins. What's his fucking
Tim Wilkins, Future Cycle. He's
some history with him.
He's run a couple times and doesn't take no for an answer.
Is there any truth to the rumor that Bobby Pulido's going to run?
It's the worst kept secret. I think that's everybody's been saying.
Everybody knows that he's probably going to run, right?
Yeah. What's up for debate is what he's going to run for. Like,
if you all need a dark horse candidate, let my ass know. You need unstable fucking Democrat.
Did y'all see?
Let my ass know.
There's a guy running against Abbott named Bobby Cole, farmer, guy from East Texas, put out an ad.
Should go for lieutenant governor. That's what you should do.
And he's just like, one of these MAGA guys will be shocked to find out this guy's actually like a progressive or like at least a Democrat.
I don't know that.
Yeah, we got to check it out. Bobby Cole for governor.
Okay.
Out of East Texas. Mm-hmm. And he's been uplifted by some like Democrat influencers and stuff already.
Is he like putting out ads where he's like shooting shit and fucking blowing shit up?
He's a farmer.
He's a farmer, bro. He's talking about chickens and shit, like fixing the grid, legalizing marijuana,
taking it back, man.
And he sounds like a guy from he's from East Texas. He's a white guy from East Texas.
I think the marijuana lobby is gonna have a moment in this next election cycle. With everything that happened with SB3 and all that. That could be like an issue that I hope finally gets the attention that it deserves and becomes like a central campaign issue. It hits everything, it hits criminal justice reform, it hits the economy, it hits healthcare. It could do for Texas what like tobacco did for Roanoke,
Yeah. What's up? What's going on in the fight?
All right, man.
It's a flyweight.
Fill us in.
We got Brendan Royval versus Joshua Van. Joshua Van, he is the hot thing in the division.
Van?
He's got basic boxing. He's got counters. He's got body shots.
I don't think he beats Royval.
Royval is the favorite here, but they are trying to work up Yan to have a.
Is that a ranking thing next to their name?
That is a ranking thing, motherfuckers.
What's up, Ozzy?
Listen to me, because
Hey, but you want to
Royval has fought already the current champion
Yeah, I'll take one here.
multiple times, but Van is the new hot thing right now. He's working the boxing. He's working the jabs, the body shots. Basic boxing
Thank you, sir.
is
Then you good?
something desperate that UFC is needing.
Yeah, I'll take one here. Huh? Yeah. Sure.
Let me go to the restroom.
Okay.
But if Yan wins, Yan's probably going to get the title shot next.
Mhm. So tell me about your union, Riley. Like, how many of y'all is there? Like, what's the number? But like, what's the engaged percentage of the membership?
Well, the number in our specific union, 2130, we're looking at maybe like 500-600 members.
Really?
Yeah.
And how many of them are like
Engaged, like
Yeah.
actually like show up to the meetings and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
looking at about 20, 25,
Okay.
you know?
You could win an election with a group of 25 dedicated individuals.
Oh, yeah.
I strongly believe that. Just from an execution perspective, you need 25 bodies to win, probably like a state house seat, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If you had 25 people who were like gung ho about the cause, we're gonna live, breathe, eat this for 4 months,
Or, yeah, 4 or 5 months.
you
out.
could have like serious political clout. You know, and then if you just those people getting those 600 votes to turn out, like that's enough to flip an election here in Westaco.
You know, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've flirted with the idea of like trying to run for something.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You should do it.
I'd have to quit my job.
Not necessarily.
Cause the Hatch Act, I have to.
You need to have friends who are willing to work for free. Is the way you'd have to do it.
Yeah.
That's the truth. You know this, right?
Me as scout.
I think a scout is a crucial position.
Because if I ask, I can get a 30-hour work week from my work. If I work 3 days in a row, 10-hour shifts.
That is a conversation that might need to happen soon. But yeah, man. But it sucks that like the Hatch Act. I was looking, man, like because
What would you have run for if you had done it?
I would have challenged Monica.
Okay. Congress.
Yeah. I'm a classmate of Myra Flores.
Yeah.
She was able to do it, right? Without having any experience.
Oh! No, it has nothing to do with experience. Like, what happened with Monica and Myra in the same vein is that, like, similar to how me and Danny got involved with the party, got into the mix and stuff like that. And then what happened with them that doesn't necessarily happen on our side is that national leadership took notice and brought them along,
Right.
invested in them, like sent them to, gave them media training, stuff like that, propped them up, gave them resources. That they know their fucking elbow from their asshole, I doubt it. You know, but what they have in common is that, you know, they were persistent, they showed up, and reasonably, Myra more than Monica, you know, there's a certain curbside appeal that helps. You know, it has nothing to do with experience or, you know, this and that. It
Even
really-
reviews.
Yeah,
Right,
like
like-
when it comes to like one thing that both sides have in common is that there's a overvalue of soft skills versus hard skills. It's not really what you know, it's how you present.
Right.
And that's what they were good at. And that's what the Republican Party does a lot better than we do. You know, to the extent that, you know, they stick to their projects. Like, Republicans have been throwing money down here for a while. I mean, when did the initiative started? What, like in 2010? Something like that, right?
The Koch brothers are funding the damn whole Tea Party thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but I also felt like somebody like me standing alongside Monica, like they lose a lot of verbal, weapons. You know what I mean? The whole woke thing, the whole like. I feel like that's
all they say.
That's their
It's
bread
like
and butter
talking to
these days,
ChatGPT
man.
at this point.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be there. It'll be interesting to see like Monica in a debate setting, in a real debate setting.
I think she'd be
That's right.
terrible.
She never debated, right? She never actually did it.
I think she'd be terrible.
No reason to.
Hey, remember we would say that,
And that's
like,
sad that there's no reason to, because this is a historically Democrat.
dude. Remember we would say like if we actually turned Republican, we would be rich. Like there was so much money being invested down there. Like imagine Danny Diaz becomes a Republican.
I would have
take it, dude.
I've had friends.
The left.
I have friends who work for Republicans who told me that, like, everything that's holding you back on the Democratic side, like, is a feature over here. Like there's a huge lack of talent for.
Use me.
Right.
It's better here.
You are the
I don't remember who talked to me in the past, but there was at some point somebody did reach out to me and asked me to, like, if I wanted to, like, to. So it was like a slow pitch, but like, do you see yourself switching party? And I was like, are you kidding me? But it was interesting that they had the guts to actually ask.
That means that they thought that you didn't believe in what you were saying.
What I was saying, I thought I was bullshitting.
If you need me to tell a Democratic side, like, you're going too slow, use me first.
Yeah, bro. I'll say, you know what? I got my boy Michael that's gonna come in here and he's gonna fucking blow the China shop.
We're in Mando Martinez's district here, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He voted for SB3. You should run against that fucker.
Oh, dude, Mando's my friend, man.
Is he really?
He was my friend.
Oh,
He was.
because of that?
I'm betrayed.
I don't know.
He lost me as a supporter.
Mando's watching this, bro. You gotta explain this.
I'll say it to him.
Yeah, one person watch it.
Fucking him.
I will share it. I will forward it to him.
Explain SB3.
SB3 is the ban on hemp, basically a step backward in trying to legalize marijuana. And there's no reason to vote for it other than like political maneuvering and self-preservation cowardice. Any Democrat?
Was he the only Democrat to vote?
No, there was a couple other ones too, and they all got something in return, probably. You know what I mean? And so you could call it shrewd politics or whatever. Like I'm assuming that he didn't vote for it out of some sort of personal conviction. He probably voted for it because some politics happened. I'd like to know what that was, if that's the case, and to see if it was worth it or not.
How responsive is he to, like, to situations like this?
I'll tell you what, like,
He would probably show up to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I know the guy. Like, we message back and forth. He wishes me a happy birthday every year. When I message him, I usually get a response. I asked him, why did you vote for SB3? Nothing. And that's disappointing.
Well, I mean, not to get too much into the rabbit hole, like with Mano Martinez, but my last year at Lupe, we were trying to advocate for a bill to do trash collection, to get the county to develop a system to do trash collection in colonias. And we thought it was easy. We were trying to figure it out, and we had Terry Canales on board. There's a lot of trash out there, dude. We got to pick up trash in the ditches and stuff. But the private trash companies is not like that. They don't like the county developing a public system of trash collection out in the colonias. And I come to find out that they were in Mano Martinez's pocket, like they had bought Mano Martinez, bro, straight up. Because he just never gave me a clear explanation. And if he ever watches this, he knows, dude. He never gave us a clear explanation why the hell he would vote against this, like the rest of the state reps in the valley. Mm-hmm. And he basically killed it in committee. But yeah, looking back into his campaign finance report, private trash companies were some of his donors, man.
No way.
And they were like, we're not gonna go with it. So yeah, I mean that's politics, but that's a very real thing.
But the sad thing is, like, who actually knows that other than you?
Right, like it's a very niche issue.
You know what I
like,
mean? And that's something that, like, everybody should know. Like, whoever runs against him next time should be you. Just hammer him, man. Hammer him on shit like that.
RC3 2026. I'll start the pack tomorrow. Get you some money.
And I gotta say goodbye to the post office.
No, you don't. Who says?
Hat check you do, man.
There's a hashtag thing. We'll have to talk to the lawyers, but you talk to the lawyers, I suppose.
I looked into it, man. Well, I mean, I ChatGPT'd it.
Use me first. Clear the way.
No, man. So, because what I originally
The hatch act is for federal races, isn't it? Yeah, this would be a state race. A hatch act wouldn't apply.
There you go.
No. It's the hatch act is just for any race where it's distinguished by Republican or Democrat.
Right, but you could run for a city council, like nonpartisan city council race.
Nonpartisan, yeah.
So why did you do that?
I mean, I guess that's the first step, right?
No, there's no pathway here. One of the things that
That could be the first step, and then over time you're gonna get closer to retirement, and that's the time that you can maybe consider it more.
a pet peeve that I'm having with like Texas Democrats right now is this we have too many candidates on our side who like want to be crowned instead of fighting for it. You
Go in
know,
the trenches.
there's all these like political back talk and back channels and smoke-filled rooms of people trying to cut deals to decide who runs for what. Like operating under the assumption that primaries are bad. Like maybe they're bad for, soft candidates who don't like fighting for shit. But I think they're good for democracy.
See, primaries are awesome.
I'd love nothing more than a fucking four-way battle royale for U.S. Senate and see who comes out on top. Yeah. Whoever does would be better for it.
Yeah.
U.S. Senate or Texas Senate?
U.S. Senate, yeah.
U.S. Senate.
Yeah, man. I mean, primaries, like, let people duke it out. Like,
right.
What's wrong with letting people decide? Exactly. Yeah.
This whole, like, that's such shit that the PRI was doing in Mexico, the dedazo. They call it the dedazo, like, the president just chose the nominee for the PRI, and the PRI controlled politics so much that, like, that was the guy. That was going to be the person. It wasn't an open fucking election. That's essentially what some Dems have been, like, moving towards to. And then we're going to be claiming to be, like, the party of democracy, man. Like, just open up the damn election, the primaries to everybody.
How do y'all respond to the charge that you guys are always complaining about Trump as a threat to democracy, but there was no democratic process,
right? As
far as nominating Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
What's the response to that?
There's a big difference. It's kind of bullshit to equate the two. Because you're talking about somebody that directed a mob of people to go attack the nation's capital to prevent the transfer of power. And you're comparing that to like how a private organization chooses to put its nominee forward. All that being said, I hated that. I remember that Sunday when Biden put out the announcement that he wasn't running. And I thought it was very peculiar that he didn't endorse Kamala Harris in the same statement.
Yeah.
Like 30 or 45 minutes passed. And now there's like bumblings and political or whatever that the deal was that there was supposed to be a brokered convention, but Biden got into his feelings and decided to fuck everyone over and endorse Kamala Harris.
Yeah. And supposedly Obama was Pelosi.
But even if Biden had done that, like if you really wanted it, you should have fought her for it. There was still an opportunity to do that. Like nobody said that we need to have a coronation. But everybody just kind of falls in line that way because, people lack conviction, really. Yeah. And they want to take the easy way to do it. And idea that you have to wait your turn.
It should have been open to all the convention delegates and at least the delegates.
Yeah, but,
at least.
Had there been some kind of a primary, who do you guys think would have...
I mean, like, there was guys in the administration like Pete and... Judge. I don't know if the governor of California would have stepped in.
What? Hey, speaking of the governor of California, man, he's learning the ropes.
Yeah. I mean, the public fight, right?
The public fight. Yeah.
The whole reality TV show, right?
Responding on Twitter and being listen, man.
In a traditional sense, nobody knows who this guy is. If this was like the 90s, it might fit again. The governor in Kentucky. Bashir.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy won a statewide race in a very red state. Has the lingo, knows basic talk, rural talk, cuts across. He would probably be an ideal candidate for the Democrats, I think, considering he was able to move people in a red state to trust him. In the same state that we have Mitch McConnell in, right? Like, it's crazy.
It is well.
And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Bill Clinton. From like Arkansas South, kind of cuts across.
The old
but in this era, I don't know. Like I don't know if this era better fits Governor California Newsom. because of the whole reality TV, Ken Bashir kind of like
And
play that role. I don't know. What do you think, Abel? Like, who would have been a good candidate if it wasn't Biden or Kamala?
I bet you would have been like somebody from the wilderness, like maybe somebody that we might have heard about but didn't really have a huge profile.
like in Obama?
I mean,
Obama
came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And some of the best ones come out of nowhere.
That's right. Fucking Jimmy Carter. I know he fucking came out of nowhere too. Fucking peanut farmer.
Clinton, for that matter, came out of
Clinton had
nowhere.
lost an election in Arkansas, came back, came out of nowhere.
And you know, to think of how far down we've gone, man. Where you had on one hand the time of Jimmy Carter,
Yeah.
where he had to sell his fucking peanut farm, and today you got this guy
Fucking selling
a week
Teslas.
before he fucking goes into office selling shit coins to his followers, man. Like it's like, dude, we are far down the fucking.
Hey, but
road.
like Jimmy Carter is a good example of the masculine energy, what it really is, and what it should represent.
and he kept it up to the day.
Dude, to the day he died, he was fucking building homes, bro.
And he got so much shit from fucking evangelical conservatives, bro. He was one. You know,
Right.
like he was one. Like, and he actually lived out, at least as close as he could, the actual teachings of Christ.
100%.
Which leads me to my next question. Do you guys think religion is hurting the vote here in South Texas?
Hurting people into like going into voting Republican.
Right.
I think that plays a role. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party is run by people right now who don't go to church, don't go to bars, don't go to job sites.
Right.
Like that's the people in charge of the message.
Hold on, let's pause this comment real quick. Hold that thought.
Oh, Jesus, dude. This guy's getting fucking...
He's getting the fucking
Yeah.
title
And he
shot.
got... damn.
Was that round three? I think he was about to call it.
Well, fire weights, he's getting a title shot right fucking now.
But Democrats don't organize in churches. That's just the fact. Maybe they used to at one point or other, but not down here.
But yeah, that's a big question. Is like, where is a big hangout spot with big crowds? That's an easy low hanging fruit to talk to people. Now, obviously, the church, politicking from the pulpit is an easy low hanging fruit audience for.
Like, who on Michelle Vallejo's team would you have sent to organize in the churches?
I don't know, maybe
Who worked
grandma.
No, but we know who worked on that campaign.
Oh yeah. But it would have been like a family member or something, not like
Not like anybody
young
who,
Gen Z
nobody getting paid by the DNC was gonna go and organize.
No way.
Would Michelle's campaign manager even see that as a priority?
I see where you're going with this. 100% not.
It is.
But have you all read Paula Ramos's latest book, about Latinos shifting to the right? She actually has a whole chapter in the Rio Grande Valley. Actually interviews Myron Flores' pastor out here in Harlingen.
Mm-hmm.
Talks about how he is very much committed to changing the politics to his vision, and straight up breaking the law. In the book, tells the author that he housed the campaign office for Myron Flores. The church can't do that, bro. But you know what I mean? But that's the type of power that they had over Myron Flores' campaign,
shit, man.
huh?
I said, but they get away with that shit.
Yeah.
Because you respond to that rationally, and they start crying persecution.
Yeah. But yeah, right now it's not just here. I've talked to people in Navajo Nation and tribes here in the Rio Grande Valley. The evangelical church is making gains, bro. They are breaking records right now. There's still a lot of Catholics. Catholics tend to be a little more moderate, more open to democratic ideals. But the evangelical church is straight up going for blood.
So which leads to my next question. The Republicans have their version of the Union Halls, which are the evangelical church.
Where do Democrats?
The Democrats don't have anything. Mm-hmm. The Union Halls, like you mentioned, they used to be our thing.
Right.
What now?
Where do people gather?
Fucking bars, man. The tavern.
You just gotta go, dude.
The bars and the taverns, man. I'm being serious.
Now
dude.
they're on their
I'm being
phones,
serious. Man, like
Yeah, also like a lot of like people are on the phones. That's a good point. You want to add on that?
the what?
Listen,
They're all
I
on
will
their
go
phones.
to any bar you need me to go.
Maybe Bobby Pulido has a concert, and he's running as a
Well, you
Democrat.
know, I mean, this guy
running
has
as a
breakfast
Democrat.
with him all the time and shit.
I bring him next
I do
week.
know Bobby. Let him see what he's gonna do first, and then we'll.
Nah, we could just just to pick his brain a little bit. You know?
Yeah.
Why not?
Tejano musician.
You know, it's something else on the side. From what I've been hearing, the DNC is looking to spend a lot of money on podcasts as an arm of their.
That
is true.
Now would be a good time to be an influencer that has like between 1,500, 5,000 followers.
Yeah.
You know, there's
grow
going
up,
to be
yeah.
a huge market for that kind of stuff. And
I mean, if you think about it,
Well, shoot, I got that. That's my size on TikTok. Shit, maybe I'll.
that's
Maybe they'll hit
something.
me up.
If you think about it, we're
call up Olivia Juliana.
You're like, hey,
You know
give me
her?
some cash. The young girl from Houston,
Houston?
The one that went at that congressman. With
Yeah. She apparently they gave her like $20 million.
no
to,
way.
like,
That was a big mistake.
to do
That was a big
online
mis- That was
stuff.
a big mistake.
Or I don't know if she's like the one in charge of it, but her name was attached
Yeah.
to it. You know that influencer out from Houston?
Young girl from Houston.
Yeah.
That what's that guy? That congressman's
Matt
name?
Gaetz?
Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz.
Like
She wanted to set up a Twitter fight with Matt Gaetz, and then use the media attention to fundraise for abortions.
She raised like $2 million.
Yeah.
No
Off of
shit.
Matt Gaetz attacking her.
Off
for
of-
fighting
yeah.
her.
And then and you know
Chess.
and she leveraged that into like a kind of like a career in politics sort of. And I think she's been around long enough now to where she saw how the sausage gets made and
Yeah.
didn't necessarily like
and
it.
not for nothing, but it takes a special kind of person, man, to be able to get in the pit like that and not give a fuck.
You gotta be a little psycho.
Yeah,
Like a
because
little bit.
because she was getting attacked by all those fucking MAGA fucking
Oh, yeah.
chuds.
You've been doxxed, right?
Yeah.
I've been doxxed. Here locally, probably by some of the people who didn't want to show up today.
Cocksuckers.
Yeah, I remember like the turning. Remember the super early days when we were like kind of friends with some of these Republican like, people.
Oh yeah, they
like,
like me.
like Raul,
Yeah.
remember like Raul Cruz?
I thought he was gonna be here today.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I told him,
We're still friendly with each other.
I haven't talked to that guy in a long time.
dude, come on, like
Yeah.
we still mix it up, man.
Yeah.
You can't completely lose touch with these people, man.
No, I can't. We still gotta stay in touch, man. I do believe in that.
The normies, yeah, because there's people who are just like,
But then there's some people that are just fucking psychopathic, man.
Oh.
Like, I've shared some like articles about like ICE doing some just inhumane shit. And there's people like laughing, and like bro, in a forgiving kind of way. Like I understand like, white people in middle America, right? Who lost their jobs to like these factories going out or whatever, that have somehow been convinced that like it's immigrants' fault.
Yeah.
Right. I can kind of understand the racism, right? I don't, not really, but you if you go down that rabbit hole far enough, you can.
I mean,
yeah, I don't-
people are just thinking of the service level.
right? But second generation fucking Mexican Americans,
Right. That's crazy.
motherfuckers, man.
In Christmas, I was hanging out, I was barbecuing out there at 7 Mile Line, north of Palmy over there, the Colonia. I was like, everybody's like, a bunch of Mexicans out there, like Mexican nationals, undocumented. Illegal brothers, man, with no papers, telling me, I love Trump.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm with Trump. Trump is gonna get more money to my boss, or my boss can pay me more money. The trickle down economic,
bullshit,
that for bullshit. I'm like, bro, like, am I hearing this right now, bro? Like, this guy was afraid of being detained because he's already been in trouble with the law, and I was like, bro, Trump's gonna fucking kick you. You're the first one he's gonna kick out. What are you talking about?
I'd love to bring those
I
people in.
fucking love seeing like the Trump supporters who are like getting deported. Give me way more of that. But at the same time,
Talk about fuck around and find out.
right? But at the same time, they're doing like fucking like deportation ASMR videos and shit like that. Like
What's that?
you You haven't seen like the White House tweeted this shit of like it's like they play like closing time. You know that song that they play when it's like you can't go home but you gotta get out of here, and then they're like or they're doing like chains clanking like ASMR stuff, and like these are the same people who lost their fucking minds when Obama wore a tan suit, talking about like disgrace to the office, you know, and they're using like official, you know, government forms of communication to shitpost. You know, and it's
I've been wanting to get something on my chest to all these fuckers.
Tell me how you feel.
Right wingers on immigration that are always like, well, Trump, Obama deported more people.
Fucking hey.
Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like Obama deported a shitload of people. But does that mean that you like Obama then? Because I thought you were anti-immigrant. Like, you want Trump to get rid of 11 million people. And then you're fucking attacking, like, and it's like, I hate that shit. It's like, bro, like, what do you, right, it's even trying to deport 3,000 people a day. Obama deported 1,000 people a day. If you're going to hit us on that, like, why aren't you talking about what your side is doing on it? Like, you're being false. It's like a weird space to be in.
Especially if that's like your number one issue.
Right.
Immigration. Then you should be worshiping Obama. Right?
Right. If your number one issue is immigration, is like, and you're saying that Obama broke records in deportation, then you should love him.
And as some kind of like own goal, right? Like some kind of like own the Republic.
Yeah, like, let me own the Republic, saying he deported more people than Trump. I'm like, well, shit, are you like him, man?
Man, you should be giving him a fucking hot stone massage right now, man. Man, if we just fucking pause and just spend some time on conservative hypocrisy, that'd be the entire show.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You know,
just on that example and the example of democracy earlier, those two, it could be like 2 hours worth of.
right? Or like like when Trump comes on and and he talks about like these third world countries are emptying out their prisons. Right, and they're bringing the asylum people, motherfucker. Kind of like what you did. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
this whole bit about like, illegals broke the law. The law's the law. It's like you lost the right to use that line when you supported a felon, bro.
Right.
You lost the right to critique undocumented immigrants that don't have papers for breaking the law when you voted for this man.
As soon as you supported the fucking right.
You have no right. You have you don't stand on ground, bro. And that's another thing I want to do.
There's this one dude that like always like comments on my shit, right? And he like puts like the statute of where like crossing the border is illegal. It's kind of like and he always posts that when like I post an article of like 6-year-old kid with leukemia detained. Right? And he's like, well, we'll blame the parents. It's like, do you understand how fucking psychotic you sound?
Right.
It's like ramming somebody off like a cop ramming somebody off the fucking road for speeding. You know what I mean? Like the punishment doesn't fit the crime.
Right.
And these people are just, and we're talking about the second, third generation Mexican Americans.
Right. Yeah, a bunch of dudes from.
I
grew up in La Jolla. All the guys that I grew up with, man. A bunch of them are. That's exactly how they sound.
Raymond
Horta, long snapper, class of 2004, high school. He was a great long snapper. He could probably play college ball just being a long snapper.
Well, I mean, if it involves bending over,
Oh shit!
Almost. Not like that.
Bending over for Trump. I know.
I remember being 17. I remember being 16, 17 years old in high school. Raymond Horta and I used to talk shit to each other on the internet football forum. And I was from down there, he's from La Jolla. Back then, that was actually like a rivalry back in the day, like when we were in high school.
Yeah.
So I've been like, I haven't engaged in internet trolling in a while, right? But I never even met Raymond Horta in person.
Never.
I don't think. I've been to one of his shows. It was pretty funny.
He's hilarious, man.
He's a funny guy.
He's hilarious.
That's not Quito. He's been at it. But I remember talking shit to him when he like posted his first special in YouTube. And I remember like he had 100 comments on his video of like, hey, come check out my stand-up back when he was really good. There was like 100 comments and 95 of them were me telling him like, you fucking suck.
No, man, like, not for nothing, but I lost all respect for Raymond. Not all respect. I mean, he's a comedian. But, like, he like, trolls everybody on Facebook. Like, you know,
he
like,
blocks people. He's such a little bitch.
Dude, he was deleting my comments.
Yeah, of course.
Making fun of him for being a former fucking, like a jack-off artist. Right, like, supposedly he's like a recovering porn addict or some shit.
Yo,
Yeah, bro.
Yo,
I had no idea.
let me defend poor addicts. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, dude, and then he was like deleting my comments. I'm like, bro, like,
Do you know that like the local Republicans? I heard about this, but like they have like a little club of like men, and they go out to like a shooting range, and it's almost like a church group, but like for like manly shit. You know, like a buddy of mine told me about it. It was like just like the weirdest fucking thing. Of like you're not sure like if at any point everyone's just gonna like take off their shirts and bust out the lube. Or something like you heard about this? I don't know.
No, keep going.
let's expose.
But yeah, there's people out there here locally. It's a lot of. I hear stories on the back end of like the Republican side of folks. They have the same problems that Democrats do.
You got
Like,
a lighter?
you got a lighter, boss?
By the way, I got these shit for $20 at Progresso, so I don't know if they're good or not.
Hey, Saul. You have a light?
Oh, we don't? We got a lighter?
There's a fucking. It's a grill right there.
But that's not gonna work.
You don't got a lighter, dude? I'm surprised.
I don't have one in my car.
Oh, it's fine. It's not a rush, bro. Maybe right now.
Well, how do you have these without having a lighter?
I don't know. I just forgot it, bro.
That's
We're looking at
Listen, the flyweight championship right here. This dude has got knockouts, man, but the champion wrestling connoisseur.
I'm not sure about the lighter.
I'm pretty sure I have one in my car too.
He likes to whip out cock when it comes to wrestling.
So what we're saying?
Interesting insight. As always.
I'm getting back on subject. Is all.
Who's this guy, Raul Martinez?
Some prick.
Huh?
Look,
You already told me.
we'll get you a lighter. I got one inside.
Okay, thanks, man. So you feeling good over there, Michael?
Oh, I'm good. I've gone from hard stuff to beer.
Big Mike.
You're mixing it, huh?
So what do you do when you're not doing this?
Pharmacy technician.
Ah, nice.
What?
Walgreens.
Nice.
Thank you.
One of the many.
You got
Work from home position, so just taking calls and
you
stuff.
got access
okay,
to all
cool.
the Blue Chew and stuff.
I fucking wish. I don't need it. Listen to me. When I gotta stay awake for UFC fights like today, I get 2 Red Bulls. I get 2 scoops of pre-workout.
Really? What's your heart rate at 130 right now?
I get pills from the gas station. Chinese boner pills. I mix it all together. Mix it up, chuck it back.
You know those Chinese boner pills don't fuck around.
And then the gif I got, it's just like, ah!
Wow.
What?
I do this for the UFC.
This is the final event, right?
Co-main event. The flyweight championship bout.
All right.
I've always thought that they
125.
should make them walk out by themselves.
I wish they
have their
had,
entourage.
Yeah.
back when Pride, they had actual style. They had dances, they had costumes. It's beautiful.
You remember that show, The Contender? It was a boxing show. And I remember on that show, they used to walk out by themselves, and I thought it looked so cool, like nice and clean. And
Ultimate Fighter as well, man, but
that's right.
it
I remember that
feels
first season of Ultimate Fighter was fucking awesome, dude.
Forrest Griffin,
I still have it on DVD somewhere.
beautiful.
It's somewhere in
The thing is, though, I feel like the company they believe they are the selling factor. When it's the fighters. Like, if there's a pay-per-view and I don't give a shit about anyone, I won't watch. But they think they are the selling point. And that's the problem.
they want to be like the NBA or something like that. where regardless of
We got breaking news. The Senate advances Trump's big, beautiful bill and narrow
Fuck
vote.
that.
Did any Democrats vote for it?
Dude,
I'm sure some did.
Medicaid cuts. How
a
the
couple of-
fuck is it getting through? I don't get it. Smoke that weed every day.
What's wrong with me?
Smoke weed every day.
Yep.
Not me though.
Not you.
I walk on that
We
street.
could
now.
if you ran against Mando Martinez and put another vote for legalization.
Don't put ideas into my head, man.
Use me as a battery.
Hey, you really got beef with Mando, huh?
Over this I do. But only because he's like my rep.
That's like your top issue, right?
I wouldn't hold it. I wouldn't.
It's your top issue?
That's my personal top issue. And you know, it's funny. I've never actually like really organized around it. You know, because I've never really. There isn't really like a coalition for it locally. Not really.
Which is interesting.
Right?
It's very popular.
Exactly. And even amongst, you know, very important people, they're all
Right.
sympathetic to it, but it's still very taboo to be about it.
It brings jobs to America.
I don't really notice that, like, put a picture with Greg Abbott thanking him for.
You can't fucking walk up the fucking hills that grow it, man.
Yeah, that was surprising that he vetoed SB3.
That was a pleasant surprise, man. Especially because he went against all of his fucking corrupt buddies.
Yeah.
You know, damn Patrick.
Maybe they paid him more than the.
Probably.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. Man, what a piece of work that damn Patrick is, huh?
Did you see that one press
damn,
conference
you
where he like threw a
pieces.
bag of chips? Like the temptation to open it up and start eating them in front of him would have been so high for me.
What a piece of work that guy, dude.
Piece of work.
Patrick, man, fucking. What are we? This fucking 80s?
Yeah, this just turned into a 1984 sitcom.
Piece of work. Oh man, fucking Patrick and fucking Paxton, all these fucking ghouls, dude. These fucking spooks.
Dan Patrick, dude. I don't know, like,
Lieutenant Dan.
weird, bro.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
Mad ass motherfucker. That's right.
All right, man. Just
Where are we going?
yeah. Just a heads up, man. Right before the main event starts, we're gonna go on a break.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna go on a break. We got some wings that are begging to be eaten, and some preparing for the main event. So just a heads up to everybody.
We got bourbon waiting to be drank. We got beer. We're going to be chugged.
What time is it? 11? Damn.
But also no peer pressure.
Hey, listen, man. If anybody can bring the peer pressure, it's you.
I don't fucking peer pressure motherfuckers. Listen to me. Listen to me. I have been peer pressured to the point I was coming out both sides. I would never do that to another family home.
That's word to the wise.
I don't know what's going on.
We are watching a championship flyweight fight, right?
All right, man. Give the rundown to this next fight. Resident expert.
Yo.
Let's go. Let's.
Okay, we got the group shot filled with my buddy Jaime right here.
All right, so
Pantoja.
Pantoja.
That's your shit.
You know what? Historically, very boring fighter.
Fuck you. But also, I respect you.
Pantoja?
Pantoja. 125. But he used to work 40 hours a week at Uber to support his family.
Yeah.
This
And
is a
you're
fucking
saying you
guy.
can't run for office and have a full-time job? You know, this.
Look at these motherfuckers. They're looking at each other. Kai Cole
Take a look at my
got
options.
the knockout power.
This guy was working 40 hours to get his ass kicked every day.
Ah, damn, bro. Where'd you come
Is
out
he
of?
fighting a Chavez, Jake Paul? Like,
We got the Chavez son loading
The
up.
son, bro.
like
It's not
Chavez's son.
he's a little old these days, isn't he?
He is old.
Okay.
He got his ass kicked by Canelo like 10 years ago.
Anderson
Well, yeah.
Silva as well.
And that was pretty
Anderson
embarrassing.
Silva
too,
was a
man.
fucking piece of art. Okay, we got
That's
the.
interesting.
Oh, okay.
It's weird how boxing brings out this like nationalism in people, don't you think?
Oh, oh!
Same. The
Take him down immediately.
same kind of motherfuckers that are like supporting ICE.
What do you think about
For that
all
one night,
these-
man, they're singing the Mexican national anthem.
What do you think about all these influencers who are like getting called out for not speaking about the ice raids and stuff like that?
Like Latino
Pussies.
influencers, right?
Yeah.
They're pussies.
I mean, in short, man, I mean, they're. I mean, I gotta agree with Michael here, man. They're
Say
pussies.
something, right?
Yeah, they're pussies,
Yeah.
man. It's pussies.
Mario Lopez was taking some shit for being at the Dodger game. The days of the fucking riots and shit.
Yeah.
And people just fucking blasted him on TikTok,
Trans
dude.
girls.
No, man, no,
throwing
like,
bricks.
no pussy, like that's pussy shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a third generation American, right?
Yeah.
My grandpa came here illegally
Right.
in the 40s. I mean, that's all our story, man.
Yeah.
That's not even the brown man story. That's
Yeah.
fucking everybody's
And that's one
story,
thing about
bro.
being legal or illegal. It's just a policy that some politicians created. Like,
A couple of cocksuckers in the back room.
there was a fucking Facebook post that really got me thinking one time. It made me laugh, made me chuckle. It's like somebody from space, you see Earth in this massive universe. It's like we're this little tiny dot in the universe paying bills.
I've seen
Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen that shit.
So sometimes when I think about borders, like, this is fucking bullshit. We're just a little dot in the fucking universe.
What
Why are you worrying about borders and all this
we had an
bullshit?
immigration policy where, like, if you just got here, you're good. And only one country got to enjoy that policy, but it's not good enough for everybody else. And so, you know, it's
Fucking Reagan.
at the same time, both parties have had a chance to like making inroads here.
Even Reagan, the fucking worst fucking perpetrator.
The Gipper.
The Gipper. He had the most nationalization of immigrants.
Amnesty.
They brought in
Yeah.
the most
My
tax
parents
dollars.
probably became citizens because
My grandpa
The most
became
tax
a
dollars.
citizen. I remember being a child, Root, and I remember my grandpa having like a little American flag on that same day that he became naturalized, and he was like fucking waving it.
yeah.
Yeah.
My parents
As a kid,
my
man.
parents didn't vote, and I never took them because I knew they'd vote Republican because of Reagan. All they knew is that a Republican gave them citizenship, gave them amnesty, and so yeah, never took my mom to vote.
That brought in tax dollars to the U.S. And that's money you're taking away by having them. fucking
And you know what,
deported
man?
out.
Like if you really start to like peel away at like the arguments that the right makes, right? Like
Damn, dude, he's 39 years old. Sorry, motherfuckers.
like illegals are like leeches,
Right.
or like they're a drain on
the
our
millionaires,
resources
billionaires
or on our
are
economy.
fucking leeches.
It's all dog shit, man. Like if you look at the studies behind it, bro, like they add. They're net positive.
The job creators, Riley. What are you
Create
talking
jobs.
about?
They're fucking. They bust their ass. Look, man. It's unpopular to say, dude. I know a whole bunch of fucking Americans that I would trade out for fucking some illegals that I know in a fucking heartbeat,
Yeah.
dude. A lot of the guys on my
Mano
fucking Facebook
Martinez.
forums-
I'm just kidding. Oh yeah, Mano Martinez. One of the ones I watch.
This guy's doing-
It's a gimmick now. That's the thing.
I am intrigued about this boxing match, though. I am intrigued by it, bro.
Anderson Silva, middleweight championship.
Yeah.
In the boxing fought
That chick is tanned as fuck.
fought Chavez Jr. I'm talking, it was an art.
UFC
The way
Anderson
he-
Silva, the one that snapped his shin in half. That Anderson
Yes,
Silva.
that Anderson Silva.
Damn.
He came to boxing and he switches styles, man. He was doing counter punches. It was art. It was
Dude.
fucking beautiful art
I
of
know
boxing.
Barbara still looks good, dude.
But when you don't have to worry about
Yeah,
wrestling,
huh?
yeah, you're a lot better.
That's Ana Barbara.
Singing the Mexican national anthem
Yeah.
on the Barbara.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
Did you hear Jennifer Pena put out new music for the first time in like I don't know how long? It's good. It's not bad. It's good.
Since the early '90s.
No, I think the last thing she had put out was like in 2009 or something like that.
Oh, was it?
Champ has been on top of the guy.
And she put out a new single recently. It's good.
You're feeling it?
It's earwormy. Like it's with the times, you know. Like,
What is it like?
Oh,
it's a men ain't
Tejano?
shit. It's it's like Tejano, like poppy kind
Yeah,
of.
she's always been that.
Yeah.
dude,
Who the fuck got knocked out over here?
what are your thoughts boxing the long ass national anthems?
I like it, man.
Right before the.
I don't fucking like it. Get your shit done before.
Dude, it gets everybody revved up though.
Yeah,
like,
man.
oh, nationalism.
Revved up. I gotta wait 20 minutes to get revved up. I'm chubbed up already. Get the fight going. I got money.
You're clearly not a nationalist of anything.
I don't fight the fight.
I don't know if I want somebody on my campaign that's not a national. I'm just saying. No hard feelings.
Get the fight going. Fuck the anthem. Go.
Oh, she looks fantastic.
You get to sing it after.
Who's that?
Sing it after you win.
Oh, wow.
Sing the fight after you win.
Mariah.
Here, hold on.
Did you see that girl at the Dodgers game who sang it in Spanish?
Yeah. After she was thrown out too.
That was dope. That was cool. I'm here for those forms of resistance.
Oh. We have a whole ass fight going on during this. Wow. Look at that pause. Play the fight. I'm getting angry. This is my politics right now. I'm getting angry. Play the fight.
Angry? I should be feeling like a fucking like a urge of fucking like nationalism.
Go relate some shit.
Yeah, bro.
Let's go bomb something.
Bomb something.
You want to represent your nation? Throw hands, motherfuckers. Make love to the night, motherfuckers.
Where's this fight happening at? You know?
Vegas,
Boxing match.
Vegas?
Vegas?
Oh, she's Latina.
Latina.
Mariah.
She's Latina, big.
Oh. Dude, this is flyweight fight, man.
Jake Paul. What a time to be alive, man.
Jake Paul fighting Cesar Chavez Jr.
He's resurrected the sport of boxing.
He's resurrected the sport of boxing. Is that what you said?
The fucking people on the prelims, man, he gives money, he gives the...
Oh, look at it. I don't know about what I joined, dude. That's different.
All right.
That's cool.
That's different. Maybe a sign of political message.
Some.
Let's put them together.
Fuck. You know what I felt that? Fuck ice.
Fuck guys.
That's what I felt in that embrace right there.
Yeah, that was it.
Fuck guys. Okay, back to...
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
I kind of understand what you're saying about like
It is taking a long time.
It's taking a minute, bro.
We're 2 rounds in.
He's still got to
to
come out
MMA.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta sing the song coming out.
It's part of the show, man. Part of the show.
I suppose. I guess
Before we have
Who
to
the fuck is
fucking
this
watch
guy?
it.
Where's Bruce Buffer?
I guess this would be a good time to take a break.
Oh.
First,
You guys done for a break?
Yeah.
Yes. In stream. Cesar.